Yeah, Guild Wars. That's like, I think it's the first time that I stream Guild Wars. I've wanted to, but had no good reason to. I generally avoid MMOs, but every now and then, I might talk about um, my favorite ones, I suppose. So I don't really know how to preface this. It's just that like I had a few discussions with a few people and that I play with, a few dear people, let's say, um, and I thought, hey, why not offer some random contrapoints to Guild Wars as a whole, let's say, because and they, what, they come from a place of love, but be that as it may, there's still like valid criticism I feel that I should, I would want to make. So, it's a clumsy intro. I'm aware it's a clumsy intro. But that's Mondays for me, okay? That's fucking Mondays for me, just clumsy intros. Crusty fucking Mondays. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna log in. If you're expecting gameplay, you will probably be disappointed, because I'll just be hanging out in game. I was gonna label this like just chatting, but I don't know. It felt more appropriate to just to categorize it as, well, Guild Wars, essentially. So yeah, again, if you're expecting gameplay, there's not gonna be any of it. Maybe a little bit. I don't know what you consider gameplay anyway. But it's mostly just me hanging out and I guess having a go at Guild Wars in the sense of like, again, like as I said, offering some contrapoints, right? Some criticisms, if you will. And I'm by no means like some, like, deeply entrenched veteran or something, but nor am I like seriously good at the game. I guess I'm good enough, I suppose, good enough to be doing raiding and strikes and fractals and CMs and whatnot, but like not really, as I said, deeply entrenched, right? So keep that in mind. That my viewpoint is like, my views on this are like highly subjective, of course, and they are subject to change as the game changes as well. Just like that very old stream of mine where I was in fact criticizing it. Let me put Discord on busy, because like I'm immediately getting some tells there. So there you go. Okay, that's taken care of. I should have done it earlier. Oh, I should put my fucking phone on silent as well. Give me a sec. There we go. That's done too. So yeah, that's, now you know what to expect, right? And I can start proper by asking you how you are and telling you that I'm fine. And I slept yesterday at 2 o'clock in the morning. Fucking fantastic. I'm improving, okay? I'm really improving. I hope today I can sleep like around 3 or 4 at the latest again. I very much enjoyed my sleep, though my dreams were very vivid. If you're wondering why I'm talking about that instead of like logging in properly, that's, if you're a first timer around these parts, that's how I do, I just I usually do those like dramatic long intros, and sometimes I'll try to, as you noticed, preface what I'm about to do, especially if it's something I haven't streamed before, and for the matter, something I might not stream again ever. Okay, so well, I guess since it's like possible that it's people's first time seeing me, maybe I should say that like I don't really stream MMOs. I don't really do that for my own reasons. I find them uninteresting to stream, to be honest. Like TLDR, hot take probably, but hey, that's me. Plus, I play them on my free time, on my off-stream time. So why would I want to also stream them? I would rather be streaming like something we all can just like enjoy the story of, you know, a single player game or some such. Anyway, I've given all the ample warning, let's say, that I can give you. And if you're, you know, if you're still here or you stumble on the stream later, yeah, thank you. That's what I want to say, most of all. So yeah. So about the criticisms I'm gonna make, it's one of those things where when you're talking about it with someone, you're very vivid, very animated, and you know, in the moment you're having brilliant like ideas and whatnot, but like then the time to stream comes and you forget half of it and you mess up your words, and you know, and that might happen, but something else that might happen, well, not might, but definitely will happen, is that I'm going to stream this, like my goal is to stream this for about an hour, maybe a couple of hours, depending on like any possible, you know, conversation or monologue, you know, and depending how in depth I feel I should go with, you know, for each of my points that I'll be making. I'll try to make sure I don't forget anything, so that I don't have to come back to this and, like, you know, talk about it again just to make an extra point, for example. But yeah, I guess you don't want to be looking at the logging screen, right? So I should probably log in there. And yeah, which character shall I just, you know, idle with? I guess my necromancer is at a nice location. We might as well, right? I like Grothmore Valley. Especially if we're gonna just chill, then why not, you know? That's probably my daily, yeah, that thing. Might as well start with that. Like, that's a minor complaint, right? But like some of the items that you can buy from the shop, they're really lackluster. And one of them is this, you know, is the complete set of the requisitions board, which I have. And yeah, this is like completely just worthless to the point where I'm just like collecting the boxes there and I don't care. Like the resources are so few that they're never gonna make a difference. I wish this was like addressed at one point, changed, because they're also expensive. Even though I have to say, Guild Wars does have one of the fairest shops I've ever seen in a free-to-play game. Probably on a level with Warframe, or at least what I remember from Warframe anyway. Yeah, let's go. Let's also grab this point over here. Yeah. All right. Is there like a better view we can have? More. Oh no. Okay. Then maybe up there. Good enough? Good enough. Maybe somewhere else? Maybe this isn't good enough? I don't know. It's cool though. We can stay here. Let me just... There we go. There. So... Yeah. That's a good start. As good a start as any. Now, to go with more like realistic weak points, let's say. Even though, I mean, yeah, it's legit, right? It's a legit complaint, let's say. Criticism. So, Potato Nightcross. Okay, nice name. Let's see. One of the things I want to talk about is making alts. So, Guild Wars 2, I should say, is one of the most alt-friendly games I've ever played. So there is that. That's a saving grace there. But it would have been nice to have the option, just the option, okay? Not replace it, but like what is there, but like just the option. So you know how Dragon Age Keep works? It's basically a place where you can go to customize the beginning of your playthrough for Dragon Age. You can just pick some choices, set up some stuff. So I'm thinking maybe for alts there could be an option there to customize like your experience so far, let's say, because if you're on your fourth or fifth character, some people may not want to replay the full story, and as easy as it is and as like relaxed as it is, and I'll always defend that it's like a much more relaxed than say Final Fantasy's format of storytelling. It's more flexible, it's more like it's faster, you can skip a lot, but still, like I would like at the point where you have like 8 alts, for example, like I do, I would like them to feel more complete for me, but I'm never gonna do that. Like I can't play the story of them, right? And I know that I just can't, I can just not do it, let's say, to put it better. But I would like to do it. I would like them to have their own story. So the option to have access to some kind of like place or site, maybe external site, I don't fucking know, seriously, where you can, have those moments illustrated and you click on them. That's how Dragon Age Keep works. And it has like several choices, and it's like, it's your tapestry, let's say, it's your timeline. And it would be nice to have the option to do that, so that you can bring your characters up to date without like literally playing through the story multiple times. Which, I mean, okay, after I have done the story throughout for like 2 characters, and I just, even though it's a nice story, it's adequate, I'd say, it's a little bit like yeah, I don't want to criticize the story, that's not what I'm here for, but I'll say it's adequate, right? Just like I said for Final Fantasy, for example, it's an adequate like anime story. For Dragon Age, for Guild Wars 2, I'll say it's an adequate like typical MMO story, fantasy MMO story. I'll leave it at that, Though for me, like Secrets of the Obscure was pretty fucking good, I'll say. I'm enjoying that currently. But I would like the ability. Maybe, you know what? Maybe that should be something locked behind. Like, if you finish the story once on one character on that account, then you can unlock that. Like maybe talk to an NPC that's like a historian or something, and then they, offer you like the possibility to do that on creation. And again, just an option. It doesn't have to replace. If someone wants to do the story, they can go into the story. Maybe if our internet is feeling generous, they could even like mail you all the rewards that you will be getting, or not, to keep it fair to those who put in the time to go through the story. So there's many ways to do this, but I think an option like that would be very nice, despite how easy it is to level and have and play multiple alts, let's say. So that's the first thing I wanted to touch on. Another point, no pun intended, that I want to make is like, especially after Path of Fire, all the masteries, like for example the Icebird ones, right? And then the End of Dragon ones. So basically accepting your mount, let's say, your mounts. So let's say, I've found masteries to be something that like, it's nice, but does it really have to be a point system? Can't it be like just level this and then level that once you're done? Like, do we really have to have points to actually unlock them? I think it's kind of silly. It feels like an extra layer. Like, you're already putting the work in, right? And nothing bad will come out of having them unlocked, as I've noticed going through the story with someone, with a character who has like all their points available at that point. You're gonna hear the word point a lot on this point. And at this point, okay, you should be used it. But anyway, sorry, I'm just dank on Mondays. Yeah, I feel having points is redundant. You can just go in and level the stuff that you want to level. Nothing bad happens from leveling things faster than intended. Nothing breaks, honestly, from having everything available as well. If you want to farm them before you do the story, that's fine, you know. It even makes the story a little bit faster, actually, which is, you know, enjoyable. So that's something to consider. Even hero points, arguably, could be just abilities could be gotten like through just leveling. Like it's not that bad, you know. It's not that terrible to do that. I mean, for hero points, I'll say maybe they can stay. They're a staple, right? But mastery points feels a little bit redundant because you're already like leveling your masteries, right? So why would you? I mean, and a lot of them are so fucking filler that, yeah, like, you know, it's a bit useless. I get the idea of like, of the maybe the mounts could use like some kind of like mount mastery points, and those would, you know, you would get through perhaps completing tasks with your mount to unlock their abilities. That would be interesting. You know, learning to maybe races would give you like certain abilities for the beetle, for example, and you know, shit like that. Who the fuck knows? But ideally, you just want XP for it, and that's it, you know. So that's a thing. I then think that like there are many, as I was saying, there are many improvements that can be made to the various, let's say, how can I categorize them? Instance nodes, I guess, like your home instance nodes, and then include in that category like everything like that goes in there, like, I don't know, as I said, like the board, the Black Lion board, and everything else. I think that needs and the guild stuff, you know, the stuff in your guild hall. Maybe you want me to be showing you that stuff, I don't know, while I'm talking about it, but sure, I guess let's do that. So all that stuff that you get like in your instance, right? It's so they're so fucking stingy with those things. Or the money they cost, you know, or the gold they cost. You would expect them, I mean, to do something more, you know. But no, they don't. Neither can you loot like friends instances. So, you know, maybe giving it a little bit of more artificial boosting to its value. Maybe you're in a guild where like a lot of people have it, and then you jump from instance to instance and you farm it. But even that is a waste of time, really. Even if it was implemented, I think the best way to do this would be to make them more valuable, right? And especially the boards are just, you know, just disgusting. And still nothing would break, right? Considering the amount of materials you need to do anything meaningful. And as for the guild stuff, we haven't maxed it, obviously. We've decided to leave everything for last in the guild hall, because we all want to do some legendary farming and some other stuff. But we do want to eventually like work on this shit. But even like max level, because I've tried it, even max level, they're not that good, I have to say. And I think we're past the point of any worrying that tripling or like even like having 10 times the resources is gonna break anything. It's not, for real. It really isn't. It just gives more value to and more incentive to do that stuff, right? So yeah, I think that's like a little bit, you know, of a pet peeve there. God, I'm getting nervous because I really just, I don't really stream MMOs, and so now I'm feeling like I'm being watched by the crowd, by like harsh judging eyes of like veterans, going like, "Oh, you pleb, you just don't know the game well enough," you know, that kind of thing. But no, it'll pass. Don't worry about it. Um, I God. Let me think of stuff that right, housing. Okay, so I feel like housing is very underwhelming. I mean, again, like it looks very nice in the beginning. It's nice to have like your little district, you know. But in this district, where do I even live? And you know, why is it like what makes it like why would I want to be here? Like give me a reason to be here. Give me a room somewhere. Because it's you know, having a whole district is a nice idea, but I'd like to have maybe, so you know what Final Fantasy does? They have like these apartment buildings. If you don't want to own an wow, okay, English. If you don't want to own wow, if you don't want to own a house, you can have a room in an apartment complex, right? And you can call your friends there. Your friends can also have rooms there. So they could do something similar here, where maybe this building here would serve as like the apartment building. So you can go in. That's your private room in there. Maybe guildmates or friends can access theirs from your instance, or you can access theirs from your instance if they allow it with appropriate, you know, privacy settings. And maybe through achievements and collections and quests and looting and whatnot, maybe you can get like some nice items to put there that are actually functional. Maybe chairs, maybe a bar, maybe you can sit there and play some drinking animations, whatever. I'd love that, and I think it's long overdue that we get something like that, especially with the tower, the Wizard's Tower, that we get access to. But even with Arborstone, which is the equivalent of the Wizard Tower for End of Dragons, whereas the Wizard Tower is, of course, you know, tied to Secrets of the Obscure. But yeah, with both places, they could have like a private area where you can go, like even just a room, like a small thing, like for example, a space like this, but which you can customize. Even that would be nice, you know, as a private, like, you know, place. I'm not too sure like how hard that would be, but whatever. So yeah, I'd like that. I think it's sorely missed in Guild Wars. In fact, since we're talking about potential, you know, triggers of interactions with other people, such as like having a house, what's up with emotes in this game? So, Final Fantasy XIV is, I think, is older than a decade, right? At this point. But you can change even how your character stands. And, you know, you can have them idly change between like postures. And hey, you know what? No postures, sorry, poses. And you know what? Before I continue down that road, I will be mentioning Final Fantasy enough, but this is not like a comparison. I'm not saying it's better or this is worse or this is better and that's worse. I'm just like citing good ideas that this or that game has, right? And, you know, credit where it's due. And it also gives you a reference, because then you can, you know, search for it on YouTube maybe and you know, watch how that works and be like, yeah, that would be good for Guild Wars, you know. So I'm not comparing, I'm not like shit talking about Guild Wars, but I will be bringing up like Final Fantasy. So, because it does a lot of things right, just like Guild Wars does, you know. So don't get your panties in a twist. Is that what they say? Your panties in a twist, I guess. So, yeah, let us fucking choose our idling animation, for example, like what animation is gonna loop when we idle. You can even, like in Final Fantasy, you can even choose, for example, your combat stance. It's nice. It's a nice touch. You know, very very niche, but like a lot of people use it, and it's a nice touch again. Like, and it doesn't really cost anything. You know, it's not gonna like alter the way you perceive the game or something. If you want to go further, you can also criticize the lack of like sitting animations here, where every human is gonna sit like this. You can't even choose or change this. It's a little bit ridiculous. Another strong point for Final Fantasy is like when you target something, your character is gonna look at them, right? But the thing is, in Final Fantasy, others can see your character looking at where you're looking, right? At what you're targeting, if that makes sense. So basically, yeah, your head is gonna turn to look at the person I'm targeting, like this, except others can see it, whereas here others cannot see it, only you see it when it happens. I don't know if you knew that, but that's true. So I'd say that's also missing. I'm putting all of this in the social, quote-unquote, kind of category of things that like changed, or I'd suggest can change for, you know, for potential modernization attempt, right? Because it's needed, by the way. And don't get me wrong, I mean, Final Fantasy also needs like huge fucking improvements to make it feel more like 2024. So yeah, a lot of that stuff, and yeah, to get it back to where I was saying, to what I was saying initially, like Guild Wars lacks animations on such a level, and it's a shame because when they do introduce them, like for example, a direct comparison would be, so for Halloween, right, for Final Fantasy, if I remember correctly, you can correct me on the details if you feel like, I don't care. The point is what matters, not the details. You get like an emote where your character will try to be, you know, comically scary, right? Just as in like, you know, pretend to be a ghost and go like boo, you know, that kind of thing. Here we got this one. And you know, it's well animated, it's unique, it's cute, it has sound, right? So what I'm trying to prove is that like if they want, and it's also looped, which is nice. So if they wanted to, I'm pretty sure they can do like a really great job at providing like animations that are missing. I can't even blow a kiss to someone. I can't even like hug someone. I can't even nothing at all. It's like it's very dry. And all these little things like your character's posture, their stance, their their expression. Because I know from cutscenes that we've watched in Guild Wars, your character is capable of performing expressions, and not too shitty ones either. To be fair, but forget expressions for now. Even though why not? Actually, yeah. Why the fuck forget them? Like, yeah. So expressions like changing your stance or the way you see it, or adding a lot of animations. And for fuck's sake, don't add them behind like some kind of reward track. Just give them out for free. The very special ones you can charge. Sure, it's a free to play. Fuck you, Final Fantasy, for like paywalling emotes. By the way, since you have a subscription there. But yeah, I would pay, for example, like €0.50 or €1 for like a basic mode, I guess. So I don't understand why that shit is not there. Since it's it's easy to do. I don't get it, and it would really boost player interactions, I think, which are sorely needed. Again. So yeah, that department is lacking. What else would I like to see? There were so many stuff. Like, okay, so if Neris pops in, which I trust that he will eventually. He's probably at work. He's the person I most recently was talking with about that stuff, and it was a 2 hours discussion. But right now I have like a streamer's blog, all right, which is embarrassing to me because like I did want to talk about a lot of stuff. I'll try though. I'll really try. So if the budget is not enough, let's say, if there isn't enough budget to like do that stuff, why not? Why not introduce an optional subscription? Okay, and the roadmap, so that people, you know, so that you're transparent. You can be like, okay, there is no need for a subscription, but if someone wants to, they can sub, and that sub money is gonna go towards this, and that objective on the roadmap. So basically, like Kickstarter, you know, a little bit, if you see what I mean, just for transparency's sake, because we all know this game doesn't need a subscription and it should never have a subscription. But you know, for those who really want to support it, it could be nice. Give an incentive for it. Maybe a nice incentive would be actually, you know, for as long as you subscribe, that stuff has like tripled or quadrupled, like, you know, results when you farm them. Nonsense like that, you know, some stuff like that. Maybe you get like a Black Lion chest key every week for free, so you don't have to actually go through like creating a character, taking them to level 10 and then doing the story up to a certain point to get the key. That would be nice. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would appreciate like a free key every week as long as they're subscribed. Maybe every month if that's too much. I don't fucking know. Something. I'm just like I'm just putting ideas on the table here. And with that money, you know, roadmap some stuff like private residences with customization, or, you know, introducing more free modes to the game, or stuff like that, you know, or maybe not free modes, but maybe modes in general. I don't know. Maybe another benefit you could have for a subscription like that would be, to make it more enticing, would be for as long as you subscribed, you don't need to use transmutation charges, right? Make it more lucrative like that. Which, by the way, I want to talk about transmutation charges in and on themselves, basically, because I find it's such a stupid system in general. You could do away with that pretty easily. Like as a new player, right? Especially now, especially in 2024, as a new player that you come in the game, you see some people, you know, wearing like some really extravagant stuff, you know, fashion wars, cuff. But yeah, and then as a newbie, you're like, what can I wear? And the shit that you have to choose from is, yeah. So to spend transmutation charges early on just to change your appearance so you don't look like a fucking clown, it's kind of, it's bad. It's really bad. It's already, I understand, like, I was about to say it's bad enough that you have to pay for cosmetics and stuff like that. I mean, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Again, fuck you, Final Fantasy, for that, for your fucking shop on a sub game. But anyway, so at least it would allow like new players to just enjoy their characters a bit more and not have to wait until they loot something cool and then also be like, but I'm not making enough transmutation charges, you know? So is there really a reason? I've never bought a transmutation charge from the shop. Okay, I'm not so sure that this change would break something in the economy of the game. I haven't read any metrics, I haven't read any statistics, but like, I'm pretty sure that a lucrative subscription system that actually is affordable and gives like some advantages for those who want to support the game is much better than trying to convince people to buy transmutation charges. You know, or waypoint and lock packages. By the way, never buy that. You know, so a lot of things I believe could go and make room for like changes that make the game more enjoyable for new people. I think the transmutation system as a whole is problematic. I think I don't like it at all, honestly. And a lot of things I'm saying are probably gonna be like a me thing. So like, you know, I don't like them at all, or according to me, or source me, you know. But still, maybe it's good to just, you know, to voice them and to have them out there. Who knows? Maybe a lot of people have, you know, share the same sentiments about certain things. Maybe that gains traction. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, more armors, more skins would be nice, because especially, you know, especially until you finish the story and, you know, you're a starting player, you finish the story, you're going through the karma vendors and all that, and honestly, that stuff is atrocious. It's a remnant for when they wanted the game to be, I guess, more medieval and quote-unquote like semi-realistic armors and all that, but like we're past that point. We've been past that point for years. All right. Now Final Fantasy is shitting out fucking, you know, skins for your gear by the fucking dozen. You know, every expansion is like literally filled to the brim with like cosmetics that you can acquire through dungeons and whatnot, and they're all gonna have their use, and you're looking for that one piece that will go better with that other piece that you have from 3 expansions back, and then that piece gains value. But in Guild Wars, it's like no, I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of the things that I use are from the shop. You know, sometimes with light armor you can make something nice, like this, which is subjective, I know, but you know, I'm just making a point. But like, again, for it to shine, you'd need dyes as well, which are, well, quite prohibitively expensive for a new player who doesn't know how to make gold and, you know, doesn't even know where to look for dyes and all that shit. Speaking of armors, I feel so the distinction between heavy, medium, and light feels kind of, I mean, it's okay, but I would like to at least be able to use the skins that I collect on all categories. That would be very nice. And I don't really, you know, I don't really see a reason why that wouldn't be the case. I have the same complaint with Final Fantasy where, you know, they even literally tell you in game, in lore, in universe, that they're just illusions on your body. All right, you're just casting an illusion, a glamour. That's why they're called glam, shortened for glamour. Why can't you use, since you're the same character in Final Fantasy especially? Why can't you cast an illusion from gears of other classes? Like, I don't fucking know. It's stupid. Gears? Gear, sorry. But as far as Guild Wars goes, well, you know, just allow it for the sake of variety, because honestly, I know it's subjective, but on average, a lot of people are going to probably agree. And I'm saying this like I'm going on a limb here, and I'm gonna say it. A lot of people would probably agree that light armor has it the best, even when it comes to armored parts. For example, these are the light version of these boots, and they cover even the knees and everything, and they're heavy and nice. But if you see the heavy version, it just stops here. It's, you know, I know, details, right? But, and I mean, then you have, for example, medium armor. Medium armor is full of like butt capes. B-U-T-T, not B-A-T. Butt capes are... Oh, hi. Welcome to my ranting stream. How are you? 20-piece nugs? Oh, damn. I would kill for some nuggets right now. For real. It's okay. I'll just have my coffee. First timer, huh? Interesting. Welcome, all the same. I've been making some criticisms. That's what the stream is about today. I don't normally stream Guild Wars. If you're here for gameplay, just being clear, you know. But yeah, so what was I saying? Right. So I think I would like that, you know, I would like if we actually could use haven't played the game in years, you're missing out, is what I'm gonna say. You're missing out. It's a good game to come back to, and very easy to have on the side. And it's changed enough to warrant maybe checking it out again. I'm not sponsored, by the way. It's just my personal opinion. What have you been playing instead? When it comes to MMOs? Well, while you answer that, how long you play this? Total or just now? Because total, I'd say a few years, but with breaks on the side. I switched to play other games, but like right now I play a lot of Genshin. Oh, hey. How's Genshin treating you? I haven't played that. I don't think I will, but I have noticed people are having fun with it. You know, the occasional controversy pops up now and then, but what can you do? That's with every game, I guess, lately. Honestly, I wouldn't think Genshin Impact would last as long as it has. But nice. What do you think of what was it called again? Honkai Star Rails or something? What do you think of that? Isn't it like I've heard it being called Genshin Impact in space or something. Like literally. But yeah, I haven't played those games. Not that I, you know, have anything against them, just not really my style. Turn-based. Ah, okay, yeah, no, never mind then. Turn-based is just whatever. I mean, turn-based has its place. Like for example in games like Baldur's Gate or Divinity, but yeah, or XCOM. XCOM is a cool game. Always has been. No? Thank you. Ah, a text brick. Let me go through this. I have an account I'm dusting off after years, but I'm completely overwhelmed. Oh, yeah. Listen, I feel you. I'm not sure where to start, so I'm going to reroll a new character. I'm worried about all of the other things I've previously done. I've looked around to see what exactly is account bound. There are many defining guides on what I lose on an alt versus trying to relearn the two boosts. Okay, well, you can. So okay, this is debatable whether or not you should start a new character. Here's the thing. It's quite easy to start a new character and level it like quite fast. You will not lose much. All your wallet is going to be account bound. So all your currencies are going to be all of that shit here, including PvP and War versus Wall and everything else is going to be account bound. So no worries. Your gold as well. Your masteries are also going to be account bound. So no worries there. What else? Your World versus World progress as well, I think. Though, you know, I'm far from a World versus World or PvP expert in either Final Fantasy or here, so maybe just take that with a grain of salt. But most things will be shared among characters. Most things. Oh, and including, just in case you were wondering, where the fuck is it? Just a sec. Including like not exactly story progress, but like you can visit stuff you've done with your other character. You'll come back when they make a new class. What, for Guild Wars? What was the last newest class you've seen? Path of Fire stuff? I would assume. Revenant. Revenant is like, that's old news. Revenant is old news. Well, what they're doing is essentially, instead of adding new classes per se, Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm not like mocking you or anything. But it is old news. Instead of like going for new classes, they're going for new elite specs every expansion mostly, which go here in the third tab. And for example, for Necro, you get like Harbinger, Harbinger, Har something. You get Scourge and you get Reaper, and well, essentially, I think end of Secret of the Obscure, I think added nothing. They want like so for Secrets of the Obscure, they want to actually enhance a little bit the weapons you can use with its class. You know, add more freedom, so you can use like more weapons with more elite specs, stuff like that. But yeah, End of Dragons did add a lot of cool elite specializations. Like for example, Warrior got the Bladesworn specialization, which really changes how you play the class. It's a completely different playstyle. And an interesting one, they're gonna allow, for example, staves to be used on Warrior, which is going to be oriented towards providing support and healing, which Warrior lacks, for example. So they're doing that kind of stuff instead of introducing straight up new classes. With which I agree to a certain extent. I was going to touch on skills. I was going to, since this stream is basically just me making contrapoints, me criticizing essentially the game a little bit, I was gonna touch on skills, and you reminded me because I had forgotten what I would change to kind of make things more interesting. Would you say Guardian is in a good place? Oh, Guardian is quite strong in every respect. Ironically, the new spec for Guardian, which was what was it? What is it called? I don't even remember what it's called because I don't use Guardian too much. Anyway, the new one with the End of Dragons that we got, the new elite spec, isn't used that much. So right now you'll see Dragon Hunters, you'll see Firebrand, quite obviously. You might even see some core healing specs. I've seen that, which work. And I will touch on core specs because that's also an issue. You know, that's a whole bundle of things I want to talk about when it gets time to talk about skills. Because right now, before I started conversing with you fine people, I was talking about cosmetics. You caught me talking about cosmetics at the time that you both arrived. And welcome, by the way, if I didn't welcome you. But yeah, as for let's put some structure into things. So you would be fine to start a new character. You would also be fine to create a new one. It's very easy to create new characters. If you're looking for an incentive to do so, I'll tell you that it's extremely easy to level up a character. Currently, I have personally 8 characters. I use like 6 of them I just use to farm stuff. That's how easy it is to make characters. I never make alts in games, ever. I detest it. But here it's so easy that like, yeah, whatever, honestly. So essentially, I'm saying that like both options are valid if you want to dust off Guild Wars, as you said. A new character will help you digest the story more. If you care about that, for example, it will be more natural for you going through the various maps that they've added, and they will make more sense to you probably. So there's that advantage in making a new character. Since we're talking about that, before you do, there is a way for you to check if you're gonna like the gameplay at high end. Yeah. So you're gonna be able to like level insanely fast. You can also co-op the story, which, you know, if you have a friend to play with, you can co-op the story. Less boring, you know, more people, more fun. And they can't affect your choices in the story as well, so you're safe from them interfering in some way accidentally, for example. But they can really make it a lot more a lot easier for you if you have a friend to go through with it, you know. But yeah, no, it's easy to start a new character. You can definitely do that, no problem, honestly. You can also stay on your old one and go through the maps and, you know, explore, and sooner or later you're gonna acclimate, honestly. But yeah, no matter the game, if it has existed for more than a decade, you are going to be always intimidated coming in, you know. So that's like inescapable. Like, I went to World of Warcraft for Dragonflight. Big mistake, by the way. Personal opinion. The last time I played was during Legion. So when I came back, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Who am I? You know, where am I? So yeah. Yeah, no. I couldn't do it either. Like you know, I couldn't do it either. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I did the basic Dragonflight stuff. I did some mythic raiding, some mythic plus. I'm not gonna call that raiding. I did raid a little bit, like tiny bit, and I was like, I'm so done as well. Like, I'm done with it. Yeah. All right. If you need something casual or rewarding, and again, I'm not sponsored, and this is supposed to be like a critique on Guild Wars, not an advertising. But you know, I have to give credit where it's due. Um, this game is extremely easy to have on the side, exactly because everything you do stays. Like the gear I'm using, um, the gear I'm using, I've had it for ages, and well, that's not my main, so I'm not gonna have Ascended everywhere. Oops, I do have Ascended everywhere, so I don't need to change that. That's it. Like, I've had it for ages, and it's easy to get. And it's always gonna be, you know, top of the line, and it's always gonna be, I can change the stats if I want to. Harder than a legendary, but you can still change the stats. Yeah, everything you do stays. Every bit of progress, every mastery you've taken, every mount you've unlocked, story progress, everything stays. So you can go back to, you can leave it for a year, you can go back to it, you're still relevant. You're still fucking relevant. So yeah. As for rewarding, I'm gonna be a bit more hesitant there. It depends what you consider reward, because it's very subjective, and it depends what you enjoy doing for that reward. So it's like a multifaceted, you know, debate that. I'll say that in general, like generally speaking, if you're clueless about the game, you're just jumping in and you're going like, okay, I want to main this, I want to give it a shot. You're gonna need someone to show you effective ways of doing stuff, you know? Yeah, no, coming from Guild Wars or wow, okay, coming from Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft, not having to gear up every expansion and every fucking dungeon that gets introduced or every fucking raid that gets introduced is so relaxed. You're like, yeah, you know, you're mainly after skins. That's what you're after if you're after items in this game. You're not after gear per se for the stats, because the stats are done. The stats have been done for ages. Sometimes they will introduce new stat lines, and by stat lines I mean, if you notice there where it says defense 140 and then it says power, precision, ferocity, right? That's a stat line. So sometimes they introduce new stat lines where it might be power, condition damage, vitality, and ferocity, for example, and maybe it works better for your class. And then what you do is basically you go and change the stats of the item to the new stats, and that's it. Boom, you're there. There are even ways to get stat selectable items very easily. Though I say that with a grain of salt because it's easy to me, but it might be horrible for you. I don't know. Well, not really horrible, but it might be a process for you. But for me, it's like, let me just go and buy a new item because fuck changing the stats, using some map currency or some such, and then it's easy. So you don't have to worry about that too much, honestly. You did say you have a lot of utility items. Yeah, so it's still a free-to-play MMO, so I'm gonna say it. Just like with any free-to-play MMO, you're gonna be fucked by your inventory slots. Like, they want you to buy inventory slots. It's quite obvious. You gotta throw some oil in the fucking machine, right? It's very convenient. It's very high quality of life to have infinite gathering tools and infinite salvage tools. But if you got those, you're pretty much set, honestly. And they do go on sale often. The artists need to be paid, yeah. Well, speaking about artists, I'm gonna go to my original point. I'm gonna say, oh, and Nugget, I'm gonna show you what's new. Though I'm not sure what you would like to see. For example, I'm not really good at playing Reaper, which is like, I don't know if Reaper was around as an elite spec when you were playing. I can't show you though Bladesworn, which I do like playing, or Daredevil, for example, or Deadeye. Though I'm rusty on my Deadeye a little bit on my rotation. But I'm not rusty on Bladesworn, I think. I think I'll remember it fast enough if I touch it. So if you really want to see some animations to decide if that looks cool, I want to come back and play that shit. I can do that. No worries. So let me know. I played at the end of Heart of Thorns and beginning of Path of Fire. Okay. Yeah, fresh out of the oven then. I will say the latest expansion. I mean, End of Dragons was okay. Talking about End of Dragons, I'll say at the beginning I thought it was going to be like an absolute fucking disaster, in the sense that it felt like pandering to Chinese markets. But in fact, it's a very well disguised critique, actually. And I'm gonna leave it there because I don't want to get political, okay? But I enjoyed that. I was like, okay, well played, without compromising the style of the expansion, which was clearly Oriental. And so I did enjoy End of Dragons, and it was high time, not high time, night time, I think, for that cycle of for that story arc to be over as well. Didn't they just release a new one days ago? Days? No, Secrets of the Obscure is it's not days old. Oh, they're releasing a new part of that story though, a new part of Secrets of the Obscure's story. That's what they're releasing, alongside with the ability to use weapons that you couldn't previously use for your classes. As I was telling Nuggets, you will be able to use, for example, staff on warrior, and also other stuff on other classes. Necro can be dual wield swords, for example, after the upcoming patch. So yeah. So to wrap up what I was saying before we start discussing all that, to wrap up that, I would like to be able to use light armor cosmetics on heavy armor, for example, or medium armor cosmetics on heavy armor, and all that stuff. That would be nice. That would be very nice, honestly. And now, since we've talked about that, I would really like to talk about skills and the whole how they do elite specs and how it is. So to me, I feel like elite specs did damage the core specs a lot. They devalued them a lot. I feel how it should work instead of how we have it now would be to simply slot in an elite spec, and then that changes how some skills function from the core builds, but changes them, like, you know, in a meaningful way. And maybe also confers some passives, like the ability, for example, to enter Shroud or Necro, if you went for Reaper, as opposed to how it is now, where basically you have to, no matter what, you have to go here and slot Reaper in there, and then slot two normal ones here, two base game ones. I feel, you know, that's a little bit dated. Ironically, I think the way the Secret World did their skills would have worked best for Guild Wars. I don't know if you've played Secret World, but it had this concept of a skill wheel. So basically you could unlock any skill and then you could mix and match. And that was, you know, you had your passive, you could use 8 passives and 8 actives, and you could mix and match however you wanted. So something like that would probably be more beneficial and give more value to certain skills, because right now, for example, the way you're tied down, the way you're anchored right now is like you have to pick Spite to pick any of these, right? And not only that, but like some of them are gonna remain unused because they don't match the rest of the build. But if it was freeform, maybe you would use this alongside like some stuff from that, you know. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly. Maybe I need to use my MS Paint skills to demonstrate what I mean. But yeah, I think the idea of elite specs is nice, but just how they work is not the best they could have been. Yeah, many viable talents that can be used because of the pathing. Yeah, because of the build, essentially, of the pathing, as you say. Yeah, it's... Whereas if you had like if you had all these things available, right, including the elite spec skills, right, everything, and then you chose Reaper, now that gives you the passive of being able to go to Shroud, and you can pick and choose skills, and some of them are gonna work differently because you're a Reaper, as opposed to how they would work if you went pure core. And then on top of that, just go and say, for example, rebalance core stuff to be more interesting, or alter them through the elite specs, you know, of your choice to be more interesting, so that, you know, having an elite spec isn't going to be devalued as well. And I think they want to do what I'm going to say next. They want to eventually allow all classes to use all weapons. I mean, that's where it's going for sure, slowly. So that would be very nice, in my opinion. You know, that can't happen fast enough, honestly. More choices is fun. You know, trade-offs are fun as well, but, you know, more choices is fun. If I was gonna go on a limb here even further, I would say, for example, the strict like categorization of weapons, where, let's say, for example, for warrior, right? So for warrior, if you use dual swords, by the way, you shouldn't. It's all about condition damage. So basically damage over time. That's called condition damage, CDPS, in Guild Wars. Instead of that, you see how we can choose skills here? Yeah, Condi is dot, essentially. Instead of that, what they could do is have its weapon, and I know that's like tremendous work. It's a great amount of work, but like that's kind of like why I was saying earlier, maybe a very optional subscription system with a roadmap that says this money goes there, this money goes there. So anyway, forget that for now. What I was gonna say is, like, why not have the choices here as well? Because these don't get a choice because they're tied to the weapon. But what if every weapon could fit every role, but differently, you know? Or maybe not every role, but at least 2 roles. So that, for example, dual swords wasn't gonna be only condition damage for warrior. Maybe allow you to, you know, to parry more or something stupid like that. You know, I'm just brainstorming. So that you can choose skills to match your build, just like you do with these, which are your actual skills, you know. So you add a sword here, for example, and now you got choices, which also adds variety. So those are my criticisms about the skill game of Guild Wars 2 and the elite specs and the base specs. I think it needs a fundamental modernization and like more choice, and especially the skill wheel kind of approach, the secret world kind of approach, will allow certain skills that are not used anymore just because you know they don't compete with the other stuff in the fucking specialization itself. It's kind of silly. Whereas, for example, if that was here or as a solo, choice, someone would take it to complement their stuff. But because it's in here, you just can't. You're not gonna do it. I'm just giving examples. Like, don't pay attention to the actual skills. I'm just giving examples here, okay? And it would also make home-cooked builds a little bit more viable because it would allow people to further capitalize on the concept they have in their heads. Because I see a lot of people going for some really dead-end builds that literally can't work, and you look at them and you're like, yeah, it would work if you could grab like that skill from here and then that skill from here and put it there, and you're like, it's restricting, in its options. It's restricting somehow. It's a bit silly. I think it's very not modern, you know. But not that it's bad per se. Like the builds you can still make that are endgame viable are still enjoyable. Now, balance of course is a little bit weird. I'll give you that, but that's something they can work on slowly. The idea of opening a specific server with open build would be enticing. No, I wouldn't like that, because then if it's a completely separate thing, I'd have to make a character there. Personally, all this is highly subjective. It's just my opinion. It's a source me kind of thing. It's like, it's I said so it's cool because I thought about it. It's kind of like that. You don't need to transfer right now. There is literally no reason to change servers. Because you can play with anyone on any server. And they are changing PvP and world versus world, so that you can actually, even if you're on a different server from the people on your guild, let's say, you can sign up to represent your guild. Therefore, you're going to be playing with your guildmates even if they are in a different server. You can play world versus world PvP with them. They're beta testing that currently, and it's going well, and they're going to implement it. And anything else, PvE or whatever, raiding, you don't need to think about servers at all. Everything is cross-server, so it's kind of, pointless. So there's no concept of like go to that server because it's empty, or don't go to that server because that server is a raiding server. There's no such concept. It's like everyone is the same playground, essentially. Everyone can play with each other. No pun intended. Huge news for the... Yeah, it is huge news, yeah. It also gave like a very nice skin as well. Like if you beta test, every now and then they open the beta testing for the public, and you can, represent your guild and then go and do some world versus world and whatnot. And if you do that, you get some interesting skins, and I'll show you. I think I have an unopened box of said skins, but let me park this character where she was, because I do use her for farming resources. So I need her to be at a certain place. Also OCD, a little bit. I do have some mild, form of that. So bear with me as I park here where I want her to be. Flying first and then figure out what goals I want to set. I mean, that's already a goal. Just messing with you, but yeah, that's already a goal basically, and a very good one as well. They've made they've made getting the acquiring this thing. They've made it really easy now. I want to hope that they're going they're going towards allowing 2 players to mount this. Because like the turtle is just not enough, which is also something I want to talk about. Like the stupid dumb turtle is just not enough. I'll show you. Wait, let's go back. Let's go out to. Where am I? Oh, right. Okay. So this is, well, spoilers, I guess. Fuck, I should have said that first. Anyway, yeah, spoilers, I guess. Close your eyes if you don't want spoilers for the new expansion. I don't know. Whatever. I guess it doesn't matter in an MMO too much, right? So this is the latest map. The latest part of the latest map of the expansion. The next part of this map is going to release, I think in 10 days or so, like with the parts that I mentioned. Anyway, do I have the weapon thingy here? No, I don't. Yeah, I still want to show it to you, wait. I'm pretty sure it must be here then, on my thief. Yeah, of course it can be played immediately. Which is yet another reason for what I was saying like at the beginning of my stream, where why don't they have something like the Dragon Age Keep? So that you can customize the backstory of a new character and boom, then you're there, you know, and you lose nothing. Exactly. So when my stream started, the first point I touched on, the first serious point was like, it is so easy to make alts in this game, but because you can make them like so easily, and because you've done like the story so many times, it's tiring after the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, I guess, character to keep going through the story. But if you want to make it feel like your main character, or maybe your side main character, you know, you will want to go through the story to give some substance to that character. At least that's how I think, that's how I function. Maybe other people don't, but maybe some do. So I was saying maybe as an option, instead of playing the full story, prompt you to have like a Dragon Age Keep kind of thing, and make your choices. So yeah, I think that would be good in 2024. So they're the War Machine weapons. They're pretty cool. At least, you know, if you like stuff that I like, which is like sci-fi nonsense. They're like this. Wait. They're pretty nice. I like them. Some of them are not that good, but others are pretty fucking good. I do like the hammer a lot. And the rifle, I think, was also something that I wanted. Yeah, they're very steampunk. There are other stuff like that, which, you know, you can get. They've added a lot of like higher tech stuff lately, which you know I like. Either way, I just wanted to show you like how they look. They're pretty cool. I'm guessing we're gonna have. They did say that after the beta is done for World vs. World, they're going to introduce a way to get these, other than participating in the beta, you know, because that's gonna end eventually. So the dragon, right? You were asking about the scale, right? So yeah, you can get it a lot easier now. It used to be a huge process, but now you can get it more easily. Honestly, way too easy, actually. So with all the stuff this thing has been getting, because it has been getting upgrades throughout End of Dragon. No, wait, was it End of Dragons? Throughout Secrets of the Obscure. Sorry, it has been getting various upgrades, significant ones. Like for example, the ability to have a targeted fireball. Like mid-air, you can just do that now. You know. I'm thinking maybe they're going towards allowing like 2 people to ride this, because this thing here is just not cutting it. This is the End of Dragons mount. It's a 2-seater, as you can see. You just have a tag or achievement for ending before it became easier. Yeah, that is. You know, they don't even have enough skins for the turtle. I'm pretty sure they're gonna introduce more. But the basic one is kind of, well, basic. You know. It does have a lot of utility though. It can fly, it can stomp, it can do various things. Yeah. It does have purpose. Like gameplay wise, it is the most unique one, I'd say. And the person on the back seat can also give you speed boosts and can fire the cannons, stuff like that. So it's a cool idea. But even though it can, you know, not really fly, but it can float for pretty long, for example, it's still no 2-seater flying mount. And the game really needs a 2-seater flying mount. It also drifts. Well, you can't say drift now because, you know, no one is giving me super speed. But yeah, maybe you get the idea by what I did just now. And by keeping it mobile, yeah, it is hilarious indeed. By keeping it mobile, the cannons recharge faster as well. So that's interesting. It's a good idea, it's just that it looks fucking ugly, and it doesn't per se fly, which is very annoying. But I am thinking they're gonna do that with the sky scale. I'm thinking this guy is gonna get a second seat at one point, for sure. And if not, they should do that. It's silly not to, honestly. Because you can help your friends immensely. Like I was going through helping a friend who just started again, and we were getting hero points for her. And the other people in the group had the sky scale, and they were fucking, you know, they were outdoing us in every turn. Like just, yeah. So you know, it was kind of like telling my friend, you should get the sky scale. But, you know, instead maybe be able to just take someone on here and just, you know, if they're new, just help them travel around, help them like reach mastery points, hero points, whatnot. It would be nice. And it's nice to just, you know, have a friend and like carry them around as well. It's pretty cool. So I think they should do that if they're not planning it already. But for example, I think they're gonna do that eventually, because like, if you go to Secrets of the Obscure's Masteries, flight training, I mean, look at all this shit that you can do with your dragon now, you know, you couldn't do that before. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go back to my Necromancer, and unless Nuggets wants me to show you like some class that they haven't seen or something, I'm up for that. They'll let me know, I suppose, otherwise I'm just gonna go on my Necro again. Just because that's how I envisioned this stream. Just on my Necro, looking at the distance and talking. But yeah, I think if you haven't played Dead of Dragons, you've missed Jade Bots, probably. I don't know if you're aware of that, like what that is. You probably missed Jade Bots. You now have this thing, everyone has this thing. It takes certain upgrades here, and here. And depending on the upgrades, it allows you to do some interesting quality of life stuff. Like for example, extra loot from enemies, or you know, the ability to revive you really fast once every 4 minutes. I don't remember how long it is actually. And it does give you a small health boost as well, depending on the core that you install. This is just core 1. It also has skins because, of course, they added skins for this. Some are cute, some are not so cute. I prefer this because it just looks... I mean, it's a drone, so, you know, it should look like a drone. But if you're an elementalist, for example, there's a little fire sprite skin that you can get, for example. It's pretty okay. You probably missed out on skiffs, which, yeah, essentially, you also have... do you use add-ons and how do you organize your massive inventory? I'll show you my inventory. So this character, which is only for farming, right? It's like this. So nothing special, but if you go here, things get a little bit out of hand. I'll show you. I am not proud about my inventory. It's full of resources. I'm a pack rat. I'm a huge pack rat. Okay? Huge pack rat. Like, I collect sentimental stuff all the time. From quests, from like, you know, silly little nonsense. Like, so this is my inventory as you thought it is, but like, let me introduce you. Let me introduce you. Listen, don't bully me, okay? I'm a pack rat. And this is on top of the bank I have, which is also good space. But my bank is full of memorabilia, like, you know, books, notes, silly little items that you get as rewards for something, you know, nice that you did, that you enjoyed doing, so you keep it. And I have boosted my storage to 1,000, as opposed to the starting 250, my material storage, that is. And even so, I'm making enough materials that it's like I'm drowning in literally stuff, which is gonna stop. That's gonna stop when I complete my legendary sets. But until I do, I'm just like manically, like literally manically, like collecting stuff. I don't want to sell them. I could be selling them, easy. I don't wanna. There will come a time when I will use it. I mean, look. To justify myself, okay, to defend myself. They introduced. They said, for example, that by next patch, whoever has a legendary rune will also get for free a legendary relic, which is something I haven't showed you, but I will show you what the relic is. So I went and crafted a legendary rune, and I was worried that like it's gonna cost me a small fortune, but because I'm a pack rat and I have everything, I literally just did it cost free. I just went like, okay, yeah, let me just make a legendary rune. That's it, boom, done. So now I'm waiting for the update so I can get my legendary relic as well. And relics are a little bit like your Jade bot. They're the equivalent for this expansion. And where are they? Actually, there you go. That's like your relic slot right here, which you will unlock if you play Secrets of the Obscure. And it's mostly like a trinket, you know? It's mostly like an extra trinket. It's not confusing, it's not like hard to get, it's not... it really isn't as deep, you know? And I like that it's not as deep, because you just choose the one that is right for your class, slot it in there and forget it. That's it. That's what you do. Was it necessary to have one? Probably not. Like, they could have like not introduced this and would have been, you know, the same. But they did, and so you just become slightly more powerful, I guess, for no reason. I mean, it's not annoying to get or anything, though. It's very easy to get, therefore, you know, you don't mind it. You just go like, okay, fine, you know. Yeah, everyone, when they announced that everyone who has like a legendary rune is going to have a free legendary relic, everyone rushed to sell the materials that the runes need. Their price fucking skyrocketed. Like, I was so glad that I had the materials ready. So, yay for pack rats, I guess. Big win. Big W. And you know what's funny? I'm not even using my my legendary rune. I just have it there because, I mean, I have my normal runes. I'm not gonna change them, so it's just sitting here. I'm not using it. I will, obviously, when I have a full set, but right now just one is like, whatever. I just have it there. I don't care. Yet. Yeah, they're a bit of a money maker because everyone is rushing. I don't know if that information is still fresh because I stopped checking once I had my rune. I was like, oh yeah, okay, you know, funny. Everyone rushing to sell the materials and to buy them. Who knows what has happened since then, though? Worried about making tons of gold? No, I mean, look, I have 1,000 gold. I had double that, but I spend a fuck ton on glam, on skins basically. Like every now and then I just open the shop and I go like, dyes. You know, just search for dyes. And I'm like, do I have this? How does it look? And I buy it, you know, just do that. Or you know, I search for skins and shit like that. And I'm like, okay, I like that. Let me buy it. So I spend a lot of gold regularly. And I'm still like at 900 gold. They changed how dailies work, which you probably don't know. So forget that, sorry. So now we have the Wizard's Vault, all right? And that is big. That's huge. Because these are now your dailies. Yeah, it is awesome. It is pretty fucking awesome. I'll explain to you how it works, Heiners. So you now have these daily tasks, all of which are easy to do and varied. So they have you doing a lot of things, right? If you complete 4 of your dailies, so essentially 3, because your first one is always going to be log in the game, so you automatically get it. You choose 3 more, you do them. You can do everything, by the way, nothing stops you. You then fill this bar, which then unlocks this, and all of that process is making you this currency. Astral Claim, I think it's called. Anyway, it makes you this currency. You also have weekly tasks which give you more stuff, more points. And you have special ones which give you even more points. Okay? Now, what you do with these points is you spend them on this little shop here. Quote-unquote shop. It's not really real-life money shop. It's currency shop, you know, specifically for this. And what this does is it allows you to buy even ascended weapons and gear. So getting endgame armor is like super easy at this point. Just get like the appropriate amount of things and spend it here. You can even buy like, there's many useful stuff you can buy, like for example, if you want storage expansion, you can buy that. All right. Gold. And if you notice, there is like even mystic coins, which are huge, and clovers, both huge, seriously, very huge. And also legendary weapon sets, which help you craft legendary weapons, which you can then sell and literally fucking make a lot of money. And you will see where it says sold out, right? So what that is... Oh, they also offer utility, like for example, build template expansions, right? So you can have more builds stored and ready to use if you want that. Like they do give a lot of stuff. Some of them are traps. Obviously, you don't want to buy like transmutation charges. You don't want to buy like obsidian, obviously, or vision crystals. Like forget all that shit. Or tomes of knowledge. Fuck that. You know, or this. Like useless. No point. But to go back to what I was saying, like the sold out stuff, all right? And useless because you can get it for like 25 silver or something, so what's the point? But where it says sold out, you will notice that it has like gold here. So bags of gold, I don't know if you can see it, it's grayed out now. For 6 Astral Claim. Whereas the normal one is like 30. So these, what they are is basically discounted ones. And every so often, this is gonna refresh. So you're gonna have the ability to buy discounted gold, you know, for less astral claim, much less actually, because this is like 10 times the price or something. You know, not 10 times, but you get what I'm saying. You can buy that. Of course, it sells out after a while, so you can't really just spend it all here. But even if you do, like after that, you just go for this one. It's still very cheap, still very easy to do. They also offer cosmetics. If you want to buy that, you know, they change, by the way, with every time this refreshes, they change. And you can also preview them before you buy them, which is like, yeah, thank you for that. I think they also had like a mount skin somewhere. Somewhere here there's a mount skin, I think, or was at least until they changed. Oh, right, it was, the mount skin was before this infusion. The Arcane Flow infusion, which I bought actually, because I liked it. But it's a nice little system, and it allows you to decide what you want to spend on, and it's very fast to do. Like compare this to how dailies are in World of Warcraft and weeklies, and how they are in Final Fantasy. This is like by far superior, and very fast, especially if you did with someone else. And especially if you're smart about it. Like, for example, if your weeklies kill 100 of an enemy type, right? You can be smart about it and go like, okay. So, for example, defeat 100 awakened, right? That's a weekly now, which I should do, by the way. There is a place where literally you're drowning in awakened. Literally. You're gonna do it in minutes. You don't even have to farm that much. Like you just have to know where to go to do these weeklies. Like it's super fast and just easy and enjoyable, and it rewards you. So to answer your question, gold has become not quite, but like a lot easier to get. Like yeah, you're not afraid. You're not counting your pennies anymore. You're like, yeah, I'll make 40 gold a day easy. So yeah. And mind you, I'm not even selling my resource. Like I'm not selling anything. I'm keeping everything I get. So if you also sell stuff, you know, you're gonna make a bit more, I suppose. Let me go back to my necro. I missed my necro. So yeah, this keep kind of idea, quote unquote Dragon Age keep idea, came because I've been playing Warrior and Thief for a very long time now, and I wanted to just play something else, and I started logging on my necro, not just to farm this map, but to also play. You know, by farming the map, I was using the abilities. I was like, wait a minute, I kind of like this gameplay. You know, maybe, and it's light armor as well, which looks cool. You know, I like light armor, so why not? And then I was like, I don't want to go through the story though, just to make her feel like another main of mine, as opposed to like just a side character. And I was like, why don't they have like this idea, like where I can just, you know, select my stuff and then you're up to date and then you can just do the current story, you know? Which, don't get me wrong, you can. You can just legit just start any chapter you want, right? But it's still not the same. Because I still want to have this completed, which I don't. You know, all of that stuff. Like, fuck, honestly, as much as I enjoyed going through this all 2 times now, fuck going through it 3rd time. So I think by the 3rd character you have, maybe let you fucking click on this and decide what you did and what you said at pivotal points, and boom, that's it. You finished it. Because look at, like, there is so much. There is so much. Which, again, it's enjoyable, but come on. let me just, you know. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it should be optional. Like, the system I'm suggesting should be optional. You know? You should have the option to do it, or the option to go through the story normally to remember that shit, you know? Having started a new character again, you're dreading that. Yeah, I'm also dreading it with my Necro. I want to have her as a main character. I want to do stuff with her. But, like, I don't want to go through the story a third time. Because also, because of my OCD, I do everything. Every map I go to, I want to do the meta event there. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do every dungeon, every strike, every fractal, every this, every that. Like that's what separates for me a side character from a main character. You know, the weight of what they've done. You know, your quote unquote legend. Let's say. But I don't want to go through the story again, like because mostly I remember everything by now as well. It's like it's gonna be boring for me. But if you're starting a new character, I recommend maybe you want to go through the story. You know, maybe you want to go through the story, especially because you know it's gonna have the same masteries, the same utilities. It's gonna have the stuff that you have. Yeah. If you have unlocked a mount, it's gonna have the mount. Oh, excuse me for a moment, I'll BRB. Give me 5 or something. Oh, I read that. You know, Neris is gonna tell you about Elementalist. Neris actually mains Elementalist sometimes. So yeah, I'll let you handle that one. I'll BRB. Hello. As for getting guided, like the game telling you something to do, I'm not sure how much it will help. I'll first acknowledge that they're doing like every single other game that I know that is multiplayer, MMO basically. They're doing a shit job at guiding you towards what they want you to do, what you're expected to do to be effective. PlanetSide 2 has this problem, The Secret World had this problem, this has this problem, Final Fantasy definitely has that problem. It's like inherent to the genre, I think. All you can do is ask around, hope you get good advice, because that's not always going to happen as well. I mean, I could try to, though that's beyond the scope of this stream, I have to say. I could try to orientate you a little bit, like maybe go on my desktop and like use MS Paint and you know, try to make some kind of hierarchy a little bit of stuff you should do as like, you know, I launched the game, I'm in there, what now, you know. Beyond self-explanatory stuff like finish a story so you can get access to everything, or, you know, try to get the dragon thing to fly. Beyond that, you know, how to get effective at the game, let's say. Which again, I'm not the best source for it, but maybe it will help, you know. I already disclaimed at the start of my stream that like I'm not a super expert. A paint guide would be awesome. All right, let's do that. Fine, let's do that. Let's do that. Sure. And when Neris is back, I will ask him to remind me of the stuff we were talking about last night. Out of which this not last night, the night before actually. Out of which this stream was born. The necessity, like my like desire to share my points was born. All right, so a presentation then. An MS Paint presentation. Okay. Let's do that. Sure. Let me see. I'll need music for that. You know, give me a sec. I will need music for that. Some kind of music. I'm still here, by the way. All right, so let me pick a good, like, a list or something. You know what? I'm gonna go to my go-to, which is like from someone who's allowed me to use their music. Explicitly stated I can use their music for my streams without any problem. So yeah, I'm gonna default to that. Let's see if you also bring up Paint, I guess. This is gonna be so low tier, but hey, you know, why the fuck not? This is gonna be very low tier stuff. Just MS Paint, literally. Okay, I'm gonna use this music. Let me see if the sound is comfortable. Is this okay for you? Is it too loud in comparison to my voice or something? Test 1, 2, 3. Guild Wars stuff. MS Paint. The loudest ever. Yeah. Is this better? Much. I guess it's gonna differ from user to user as well, but I'm gonna try to make it bearable. So you should be hearing my voice just fine now. Over the music. I can lower it even more if that's like it's balanced. Alright, cool. Can lower it a bit more for the problem. There we go. So let's see. This I've never done this before. Never done this before. I usually draw, I don't know, some really nonsense stuff on stream if I draw. So new player, right? Okay, I'm gonna say sky scale, right? Wait, where did it go? Hello? How does this work? So, all right, I'll randomly put the stuff around, and then we'll kind of like put them in a hierarchy. Ascended set, plus runes, sigils, infusions. All right, let's put that there. What else would be interesting to have? Quality of life tools. Oops. Let's say, for example, infinite salvage, infinite gathering. What else could be? Let's do secondary QOL. Let's say TP to friend. Wait. Infinite TP to friend. That's good. That's good to have. Let me think. On a very starting level, I think this. Oh. Wait. This should lead somewhere. So let's put these. Oh, story. Wait. Story. Let's finish your story. To have access to stuff, right? I should put. Okay. Let's do something else. Tertiary QOL. Let's say inventory space, bank space. Not in that order necessarily, but whatever. What else could go there? I mean, bank space, you know what? Fuck bank space, inventory space. And then, let me think. I'm gonna leave it like this for now, this one. There's definitely something I'm forgetting, right? Oh. Okay. If we're doing it kinda ordered. No, it's okay. Here we could do living world seasons. Farming map currencies. That's important. That's a good start, I feel. I don't know if you can, like, can you see them clearly? Or should I redo this with like... Yeah, your mounts are going to be available on all zones. Oh, wait. Glider. Let's put that on its own, and then let's do Jade Bot. And then let's do also Relic on their own. Yeah, you may have it, but you might need some. So let me cook here. I think this is top, right? Let's put this here for now. On the side of that, you should have this. Let's also put rest of the mounts. Yeah, you have a raptor. Yeah, that's the moment you start Path of Fire, you're gonna have a raptor. Very soon. It's only one quest. I'm gonna put this. So we might change this as we go, okay? I'm gonna put this Probably here, like that. So basically, one will lead into the other. Okay? Let's do it like that. Because you do need to... You are farming these seasons for that. And you're also finishing the story for that, to do that. So I think this is like fair enough to have it like this. On the first like line, let's say, okay? I would say sky scale is important. I'm gonna put it there. Okay? I'd say it's as important as like finishing your living world stuff. But like at the same time, you know. I can't really categorize this like higher or lower than this. So I'm putting them there in this tiered list. We're gonna make it a pyramid scheme. It's gonna be a pyramid scheme. Alright, let's see. Glider. Yeah, you're gonna need it, even though it's basic. Even though it's basic, you're gonna need it. So, you know what? This is like not as important as the scale. So let's put it lower than the sky scale, but it is pretty important. Like you need to have your glider, especially because you need it in raiding as well. Let's put it somewhere. For now, somewhere there, like in between, like these two. It's adjacent, yeah, it's adjacent. Like let's. Okay, wait. I'll do this correctly. No, come back. Don't abandon us, sweet prince. How do you move it now? It's too small. Go that way. There. There. That pleases me. Okay. I'd say the Jadebot and Relic are gonna be close to each other. But the Relic is more important. Clearly. I mean, you can't get the Relic, like, okay. I got you. This is gonna be like here. And then we're gonna put like this thing. Wait, we're gonna put this thing like there. Kinda like this. Kinda. If that makes sense. I hope it's not too chaotic. This is like how my mind works. I'm sorry, that's the best I can do. Rest of the mounts is going to be... Wait. It's time to talk about this. It's unavoidable. It's time to talk about this. This is gonna go here. Almost as important as the Skyscale and Glider. Almost as important, because it's like, you gotta farm, right? How are you gonna farm? By spending gold? No, you're gonna get your tools, right? So you want your tools. So it's somewhere here, I'd say. Sadly, you need this. Sadly. But hey, free to play, you know. Okay, buy infinite tools. You want a specific set. I'm gonna make you sad now, probably, because if you didn't know that, and this is new information, you might spend money. So what you want is volatile magic, infinite magic tools, gathering tools. This is what's gonna make you the most. Like it is the most powerful gathering tool. That's because with it has a glyph. So what they do, like basically these tools, is like, can you type? Yeah, sure I can. Give me a sec. I'm rolling a cigarette and I'll do it for you. Let me also add skiff. What? Hey, thank you. Benefit from what? Your Prime? Of course I do. Everything counts. And thank you very much. and the follow. You're spoiling me. Thank you. And also thanks to Nugget for the follow as well. Welcome back, Neris. Oh, Neris. We are doing a tier list / new player guide. What do you think about it so far? If it's like, so imagine it's tiered, okay? It's like, this is tier 1, all right? Let's say that this is tier 2, all of this, all right? But within the tier, there are some differences, kinda, if you can see it, right? Like this is not like a random placement. We haven't been here yet. Pretty spot on so far. Okay, good to know. Now, where was I? Oh, you wanted me to say this. All right. Oh, there we go. The Infinite Salvage one. The Infinite Salvage tool. So there are some arguments here. I'll give you my personal take. Because I'm going for legendaries. Oh, by the way, let me do something real quick. Okay? Forget that. If you're a new player, forget this shit. A lot of people I see are like, oh my god, I'll go for legendaries. It's the highest gear. It's not the highest gear. It's the same as Ascended. They are 1,000 times harder to get. 1,000. I'm not even like, this is not even hyperbole. It's 1,000 fucking times harder to get. For real. It's going to exhaust you. It's going to burn you out. Alright? Unless it's like something really fast, but like really fast, don't go for them until you have everything else in the list, at least. So the point of legendary weapons is, not weapons, but legendary gear, is quality of life. What they do is that you can right-click it and select the stats. You can have it on all your characters that can equip that class of gear. So if you have a heavy legendary, all your characters have access to that one legendary. Because they go into their own chest, they go into the armory, as it's called, which is strictly a menu with your legendary items. And you can access it with every character and dress them immediately. And then right click on the item and select the stats at any point that you're not in combat. And you can do the same with legendary runes. You can slap them on an item and then take them out, and you can customize them on the spot, what stat lines you want to have. That's all they do. Oh, they also look cool. Oh, and they also, you can change their appearance without spending transmutation charges. But what Neris says is very important. Legendary weapons are literally only skins. They're literally only skins. They are such a hassle to use that it's really not worth it over having like multiple ascended weapons. For real. It's just not. And if you're worried about the appearance requiring transmutation charges for ascended items, So, you know, if you don't have, let's say, legendary weapons, how are you gonna like do that every time you want to? Well, you'll be making enough transmutation charges anyway on your way to, like, you know, dominating the game or whatever you want to do, that you'll be able to afford to change an ascended item's appearance. Don't worry about it. If we're talking weapons, you know. So legendary weapons and trinkets and amulets and whatnot, I'd say forget them for now. I'll still say it's a good chance to make a legendary rune. If you can, a single legendary rune would be nice. Just because you're gonna get a legendary relic for free, and that's huge. Like, that's huge. That's a good... that's good, you know. 2 legendaries for the price of 1 is nice. Now, will there be ascended relics? That I don't know. So, just in the niche case of relics, in case they don't introduce ascended ones, if you don't have the legendary one, you will be at a very, very, very slight disadvantage stat-wise. But it's a very, very slight disadvantage. Whereas if it's legendary, then it will be using ascended stats, which are superior to exotic stats. And all current relics are exotic. So, you know, getting a free legendary relic that you can use on every character and give it every stat you want is going to be nice. So in that one case, I'd say if you can, you know, don't push it, but if you can afford it, you should definitely make a rune so that you can get the relic. Which is also gonna, you know, it's also gonna give you a rune. Because, yeah, you'll build a rune essentially, so you'll also have a legendary rune. As for swapping runes on ascended gear, the cost of runes is minuscule compared to the daily amount of gold you can make without like sweating like a fucking pig. That you can easily just trust the current rune and override it with another if you want to change like your stats and your runes essentially in sigils. The same goes for sigils. Like they're slightly expensive, but really they're nothing. You can scoff at the cost. So again, reaching ascended here with the appropriate runes and sigils and infusions, easy. And better than starting the game and falling for this trap. Okay? That is like something you do when you have nothing else to do in the game. That's it. You just run around and you go doing collections and achievements and building stuff and making resources specifically to craft your gear. Because you've done everything else, your end game, you know, you're like, yeah, okay, let me just do that now. A huge quality of life, that's all, but not necessary quality of life. Now, yeah, it's probably boost stuff that you have on your warrior. Now there are many ways. I'm gonna talk about each of those, but first let me just try to categorize them first, okay? Let's go on a little bit. Boost gear shit tier. So yes and no, it is shit, but for the purposes of like open world, for a new player who doesn't know what they're doing, they don't know the rotation, and they don't know, they can't dodge too well, they can't like, you know, they can't avoid AoEs too well, and they just want to like mindlessly farm stuff. Any kind of gear is gonna work. As long as it's exotic and above, it's gonna work. You can literally just throw on your character like just random exotics and, well, not literally random, but like more or less, you know, relevant stat lines, and it's more or less going to be effective. The reason why you need gear, so the reason why you need this, is because with this you're gonna raid. You're gonna raid and you're gonna do fractals and challenge modes and strikes and whatnot. So because fractals and raids and all that is going to be your main source of income alongside the vault, you want to acquire this. And for the same reason, you also want to know how to play your character, because otherwise people are gonna be kicking you out of their squad because nobody wants to carry people most of the time. And besides, you know, speed is of the essence. Holding back your team isn't advisable. So yeah, do try to go for ascended stuff, as I said. Though for anything below tier 4, okay, I'll be super generous. For anything below tier 3 fractals, yeah, you can do it without ascended, obviously, but like agony is gonna fuck you up. Like, that's the only problem. We literally had a person in the guild who could who actually came with us to fractals tier 4, which is the highest tier excluding challenge mode fractals, and the person was so good at positioning and dodging, they literally survived with exotics and only died when it was a hard agony check. Yeah, it's this. Wait, I don't know if I have it like on this character. Maybe not, because I don't bring her to. Yeah, no, I don't have it anywhere. Fuck. Normally, where it says infusion slot, you would see +9, like +9 agony resistance infusion. I'll show you. Oh, and now that I used it, I am reminded. This is the best pass that you can get. Mistlock Sanctuary. Let me just add that. No, stop hitting escape. All right, so I must have it in my bank. That's my bank, by the way. As I said, I'm a huge pack rat. Okay. This is what you're looking for in terms of infusions. Yeah, I'm a huge pack rat. What can I say? All these are like sentimental value items, for example. All these are my books I've collected. Because I collect books. In Skyrim, I collect books. In Cyberpunk, I collect fucking data pads. Like, I just want the lore to be there when I want to read it and stuff like that. These are Jadebot upgrades. These are relics, runes, sigils. Some ascended stuff here. What else is important? All these are invitations to stuff, like, you know, Super Adventure, blah blah. I even have like the, you know, the big one, the condensed one, but I kept these because, you know, I just like them. These are all my passes, so just like where we are right now is a Mistlock pass, but I have like every single pass because I just collect that. I don't know. But these are more important. This upper row and this up to here is more important than the passes I have. I'm not gonna go through every single item that I have here. They're nice to work towards, you know, in your spare time. The most important ones are going to be this. So the Fractal Reliquary. The reason why this is important is because you can use it once a day. And it might have this, and I'm lucky because it does now. This +5 simple infusion. You don't want anything else, just that. Buy that. Put this back. Essentially, it's a vendor item. And another cool one is this. the ley energy matter converter. Which this one... yeah, but except this isn't... You don't want to add this. I'll explain to you what you're gonna do with this. This one is just like gives you a key for certain maps to open certain containers on the map. For example, Dragon's End uses... the map has like noxious pods. They're containers specific to the map. With machetes, you can open the noxious pods. So, yeah. You can do that for other maps. In the other tabs, you might get this, for example, which I always buy. Let's see. Yeah, why not? Crafting bug. Green trophy. Why the fuck not? Put it back. Done. Yeah, it's pretty useful, and these are tied to achievements. Like, this is tied to an achievement as well as this. Like, everything you see here. Except these three. These are shop items. So what these do is basically, when the season is up, or even now, for example, using season resources, they'll give you some buffs, which is like XP buffs, magic find buffs. It's useful. It's useful to have. You can stack them. Useful stuff. Useful to have. Now look, I'm just explaining. I'm not saying you should go for that. I'm saying that they exist, and it's something you can have as a goal. Once you're done with the tier list we're establishing, or in parallel, you can start working on these things. Honestly, most of them aren't hard to get. This one was a bit expensive. The reliquary was a bit expensive. But other than that, they're actually okay to get. But for now, you can forget them. Like you can get into that like a bit later, not immediately. A bit later. You don't need to mind them now. It's just like a secondary goal, let's say. But for inclusion's sake, I'm gonna tell you what you do, for example, with this that we bought from this, which is the item you want, literally. Let's see. Is there something else that I want to talk about that is like here? Right, if you sign in for the newsletter, by the way, you're gonna get a free 24 slot bag or something. I don't know if you know that, but like, just letting you know. If you enable the newsletter right now for, if you sign up for it for Guild Wars, they will send you a free container. I think it's on the launcher. I think the launcher actually informs you for that. So no worries. But just saying, you know, can help. No, I think I'm covered from here. I don't think I need something particular. I could go into why I'm collecting these, the swim speed infusions, but I think it's unnecessary for the tier list we're doing right now. The TLDR for this is if you manage to fuse them into something higher than 20, you're gonna be rich, because they sell for a lot. I have plus 15s here, but yeah, I'm gonna fuse them eventually. I also use them just because they make you faster underwater, and you know, yeah, that's important actually. So the way you get these, just for inclusion's sake, is by completing these. There is a list on Google somewhere of places where chests that are opened with this key spawn. So you go there, you kill some creatures that guard it, and then you open one chest with one key, and you're gonna get several items, including swim speed infusions. Now these keys you get by killing, you get one daily, guaranteed, by killing any aquatic creature that is an enemy creature. And then when you stack up like 80 of them or so, just go and do the rounds for the chests, and then you'll get enough infusions eventually. As a side note, okay? That's just literally a side note, you can completely forget it for now. It has to be crates in particular. Okay, then I stand corrected, it's crates in particular. As I said, I'm not like an expert or anything. But yeah. What Neris said. Okay. So, let's leave the bank for now. No, skiff is separate, I'd say. Let me show you what you do with finally with that item that we got from the weird fractal reliquary thing. Is it this guy? I think it's this guy. It wasn't this guy. It's this guy. Oh, this is... So, this... I should explain this as well, by the way. So, as you do fractals, you're gonna be rewarded with this. Where is... No. Well, with this icon anyway. That's the icon of the item is this green thing. It's gonna be +1s. What this vendor allows you to do is fuse +1s into a +9, which, if you remember, that's the infusion that you're aiming for until very, very later end game. Because very, very late, like super late end game, you want to trade your +9s with infusions that are +9 but also plus a stat. So stat infusions, as they're called. But that is like, even I don't have that. Like, I don't have that, for example. I'm building towards it, but for now my characters are all just using +9s. And that's what you should be aiming for early on, so that you can access basically higher tier fractals without dying instantly. Now let me find the... So these are the stat ones, for example. These are stat infusions, just to give you an example, okay? But let me find what I'm looking for. On this tab you can change your +1s into a +9. 256 +1s will give you a +9. And there is to collect, honestly. 256 sounds like a lot, but nah, it's not. Where's the tab I'm looking for, though? Is it this one? Oh, it's this one. So you see the item we fished out of that box is this. Over here. Now I can trade that for fractal relics. And I will. And that's what you want to do. That's why we wanted that. Anyway, as a side note, you know, just to explain why I wanted that. Relics, fractal relics and pristine fractal relics. So these two resources are related to fractals, unsurprisingly. And they allow you to get account-wide augmentations. I might as well show you. From this guy over here, I think. Is it this guy? No, it's not. Oh, account augmentations. Yeah, hello. Alright, so you're gonna have these 4 categories. As you see, they cost like fractals and pristine fractals. Especially this one. And you're looking to eventually max them out, prioritizing agony impedance and mist attunement. So yeah, that's why you want as many as you want. Anyway, that is all just like on the side. Let's go back to the meat and potatoes, I'd say. Did I want to do something here? No, I'm good, okay. So, back to the tier list. Let's see. Skiff, I've added it here. I'd say you can make money with your skiff, but you really want to spend time fishing. It's very lucrative. I've done it, and it was very legit before the vault was a thing. It was a very legit way to make money, but right now I don't think I'm gonna fish ever again. So, not because it's useless, but because, you know, if there are other ways and I'm not that hungry for gold. I can wait. So, you're gonna need This is higher. Is it higher than inventory space? No, I don't think so. Let's put them like this for now. So this, let's make it 1. Let's make it 1, because it's very important. Where do I put this? This is like supreme quality of life stuff, because you can go here from anywhere, literally, and back. Just by double clicking it again, it's going to return you back to where you were. And it has every vendor you're ever going to need, including fractal stuff, fractal vendors, including a gate to all fractals. It's just, yeah. Your bank is there, every single crafting station in the game is there, except inscription, I think. So yeah, I think it's the best pass, honestly. Needs to look for the win. So let me also add crafting here. That's something we forgot. Crafting for your build. I'll put it like that, and I'll explain that. So crafting, I'll say, is super important. It's probably here. Masteries, huh? Do I want to put masteries there and say that they're not tier 2 though? You shouldn't be farming masteries. It's nice to grab them. You know what? Okay, but not tier 2. Mastery points. Not tier 2 though. I think they're very high tier 3. Well, very high tier 3, I'd say. World exploration, not important. It's something you do for completion, and if you like to do it, and to reach some mastery points and to reach some jumping puzzles. You know, I can't put exploration in this. I can't put like exploring the whole world. I'll leave that to the player, I would say, if they want to have like 100% of the map, of every map. I do. I've explored everything on both characters. So yeah, I can't really put it on the list. It's something that you do subjectively, like, oh yeah, you know. Me neither, but some people can, so I can't really put it there. Whereas, for example, the stuff here is like, you gotta do this shit, you know? If you're serious about it, you gotta do that shit. It's tough, I know, right? What can you do? Perfectionism. Inventory space, huh? Yeah, inventory space is important. Now, how important? Probably goes in this tier right here. Let me split it again. The rest of the mounts, no. I'll go on a limb and say this is difficult now. It's getting a bit difficult. Let's do rest of the mounts. Just because you will be using some of them. Let's put them like here. Let's put the skiff is definitely lower. Let me try to be precise with my cutting here. I can't. The skiff is like, wow. The skiff is like there. That's the best I can do for the skiff. I'd say like this, and then this is probably somewhere here. on the side a little bit, and then last this. And let's close it up. So crafting is important because that's very likely how you're gonna get your first tool, your first not tool, set. At least partially. So what's gonna happen is crafting is how you're gonna get these. This side of your gear is gonna be crafting, all of it. Weapons, everything, okay? Now this side, that's where like this comes in. And that's why it's important. Because crafting for your build is very easy to do. It'll take you about 60 gold or something, 40, 60 gold or something, and about 30 minutes to max the crafting discipline. Considering your class is, let's say, for example, medium armor, just an example, you're gonna want leather crafting, leather working. So that's one crafting discipline, so that's like 40 to 60 gold, and 30 minutes to complete it. And then for the weapons, depending on what you use, it might be blacksmithing, it might be artificing, something. So let's say a total of like, I don't know, and Neris can correct me here, but I think it's gonna be a grand total of like 100 gold, 100 something gold, and like an hour, and then you can begin crafting your this shit, including weapons, ascended. And for this, you're going to be doing that, the Living World Seasons. If you're tight on money, there are certain seasons you can buy and leave the rest for now if you're tight on money. Season 3 specifically is very good for it. If you're even tighter for money, you can do very specific Season 3 episodes. This one. Cracking the ice, definitely. So 1, 3, and I would say 6. If you're super tight on money, you can just spend on those and farm them. The best way to farm them is literally with infinite gathering tools, so volatile magic ones, so that you can also gather volatile magic. I'm gonna ignore Neris's Neris being a smart ass. Shut up. Yeah, it's like, yeah, crack for gearing alts, yeah, I guess. So with that information out of the way, what do you want volatile magic for? Why are these tools the best? Well, there are vendors that will trade you your volatile magic for materials, essentially, or for map currencies that you might need. So living world currencies that you might need, which again, you can then consume those and they will give you, you know, volatile magic if you want again. Like it's like you can, like, recycling the resources is where it's at, let's say. But yeah, with volatile magic you can buy shipments of various materials. That's the idea. That's why you want to be gathering volatile magic as you gather other resources, essentially. Which again, because I'm a pack rat, I just hoard volatile magic forever. I just hoard volatile magic like crazy. I could spend it and like get a fuck ton of resources at this point, but you know, when we get there. For now, it's like, it's cool, just chilling for now. Oh, it may be worth saying that, you know, you should be doing strikes. Specifically, you should be doing your Ice Brood Saga strikes. That's because they will give you a certain resource. So blue shards. And you can spend that here at the Eye of the North to buy ascended stuff. So Ice Brood Saga strikes are going to give you blue crystals, blue shards of crystals, and you can buy with that eventually ascended gear as well from there. So there's lots of ways. Dungeon coins, not exactly, because dungeons are no, the currency you get from literal dungeons, like for example this is a dungeon here, is going to be only for glamour, only for cosmetics, and maybe some runes, but you can't really sell on the market, so you can't really buy them. Therefore you might need to do dungeons to get a certain type of rune or sigil, depending on your build. Other than that, dungeons are purely for gold and resources. They're fun to run, they're fast. If you run 5 of them daily, you get gold. They're very easy to do, you know, why not? If you're doing your whole round of gold making stuff, you might as well add dungeons in there. I mean, combat is fun in the game. More combat is fun. There you go. Now, strikes are like trials. So basically you get 10 people and you fight a boss. That's it. 10 people gather up, you fight a boss, you win, you get the fucking loot, you get out of there. That's it. And by doing Ice Brood Saga strikes, because there is Ice Brood Saga introduced strikes, but End of Dragons has their own, its own, sorry. And obviously Secrets of the Obscure has its own strikes. Can you spam that? Yeah, you can. It's not gonna be as lucrative as doing your dailies, but for example, a lot of people are like, you'll search on your looking for group tool, and you're gonna find like, where is it? Do you see strikes anywhere? Oh, strike missions, okay. You go on experienced, because training is a shit show. You see this guy, for example, his group, oh, fuck. His group was doing the 5 IBS strikes, alright? Even though not all 5 of them are going to be daily, they're so fast, they're worth doing. You know, so a lot of people advertise groups that do the easy 3, quote unquote, which are the 3 easiest strikes of Ice Brood, as if any of them is difficult. None of them is difficult, really. Depending on your level of skill, of course, but all of them are very easy. So you do the easy 3, let's say, or you do 5. The one they leave out is one that is pretty fun to do, actually, but it takes forever. So people are just not doing that. And I'm talking about the even though it's a nice mission to play a couple of times, you know. I personally have fun playing it. I don't mind it, honestly. Sometimes I run it just for fun. And it's like Forging Steel, I think it's called. That particular strike is really not popular. I've completed both its challenge mode version and the normal version. They're cool to do. They're fine. The loot is okay. I didn't mind it, honestly. Just informatively, if you're looking to farm resources, there is 2 maps that you should keep in mind. If you're looking to really farm, like to really milk it, it's this one, which you can farm for Eternal Ice, I think it's called. What the fuck is it called? This thing over here, where is it? This thing, Eternal Ice Shards. They're very easy to collect, like super easy, super fucking easy to get. And by unlocking a certain vendor through doing an achievement there, like at the map I showed you, you can spend it to buy ascended stuff again. A limited selection, but it's still an alternative, and it's extremely easy to farm. Like, it's stupid easy to farm Eternal Ice on this map. So the Biora Marches, or whatever it's called. And the other map you should keep in mind, let me just find it. Where? Am I fucking blind or something? Just give me a sec. Where the hell is Is it the... No, it's not that one. Oh, maybe I haven't discovered it with this character. Holy shit. Let me think. It's not... I think it's here somewhere anyway. Neris, help me a little. What's that map called? It's an Iceberg Saga one. I can't fucking remember. The one that you capture territories and the map currency is salvage. What is that? Which map is that? I forget. Fucking Drizzlewood, yeah. So yeah, as I said, Biora marches for the easy 1 or 2 ascended items it can offer if you unlock the vendor with the achievement. Which is very easy to do. The achievement is easy, don't worry about it. Just Google it, and you know, when you find the vendor, you'll know what to look for. Just Google their name and how to unlock it, and just do the achievement. You unlock the vendor, that's it. You can then spend Eternal Eyes to get ascended items, but the selection is very limited. It's just an alternate way to do it. And as for Drizzlewood, which I brought up, this one is more for the, you know, if you want to milk everything effectively, you can do some Drizzlewood, and there you get certain map currencies, which then also you can trade in for resources, just like you would trade in volatile magic, for example. You can trade that map's resource for yellow materials, you know, and other stuff you will definitely need for later down the line. But again, that's like secondary. That's why I'm not putting that stuff here. I'm not putting Eternal Eyes or, you know, all that. I'm not even putting Icebrood Saga and the whole blue crystals or blue shards, because you can already get ascended very easily already by that stuff. So it's just a tertiary way to do it. I mean, it just passively happens, and then you want to gear an alt, and before you realize you've farmed the Icebrood enough to just buy a couple of boxes, and it's gonna save you crafting like all this side. But then again, I mean, the vault kind of breaks that in a good way, because again, you can just go here and wow, there you go, a weapon chest, an armor chest, easy. So all these are ways to get ascended stuff. So I think, without going into crazy details, this is pretty much it, I'd say. Without going into like super, you know, secret techniques. So stuff that you can just do out of the box without knowing much. This is it. Like, what can I do like immediately? Like, what can I immediately do? Story, the Skyscale and Glider, which kind of ties into the mastery points, of course, because Glider requires mastery points, Skyscale as well, but not too much, because the moment you can fly, it's over. That's it. Game over, you can fly, you can go anywhere you want, everything is going to be much, much easier for you, including exploring the whole world, obviously. So yeah, you know, you can very easily like buy the VTM tools when they're up for sale. You can access Living World, start like farming there daily, and then eventually get your Ascended set. Then, you know, again, mastery points. There is like there is an exception to mastery points. I'll show you which one it is. It's a small exception, but important one. Okay. So, Central Tyria. All right. This is what you want. You want all of that. But I can't put it separately I mean, I could, I guess. Fine, I'll do it. Let's make this an exception, okay? And this one, you should start working as soon as possible, let's say. Is it tier 2? It is. I'd say it's like... I'm putting it here. Fuck it, I'm putting it there. So what this is gonna do... It's going to... Alright, let me explain this once again. I've explained it many times, but I'll explain it again. So, when you do fractals, you are rewarded fractal encryption boxes. These contain junk items, but they're very expensive junk items. Like literally junk items. Literally items that you go to the vendor and you press sell all junk and you sell those. Like literal junk items. This is what you want though, because they're expensive junk items. So, to open the fractal encryption boxes, you need fractal encryption keys. These you buy at the vendors in the fractal lobby. Okay, but what's important and why you want the mastery is because, well, it's best if I show you. So this thing, not too important, but you can access the vendors in the lobby, so you know, it sure beats fucking, you know, you get it. This is okay, but this is what you want. You gain bonus rewards from fractal encryptions. It effectively quadruples the loot you're gonna be getting, the value of the loot you're gonna be getting from your encryption, fractal encryption, sorry. So what you want to be doing when you first start, like you start the game and you're like, okay, I'm doing my story, but I also want to do my dailies, which means fractals, which means tier 1 fractals, because I don't have infusions. Therefore, and I have exotic gear, so I can't do higher tier. I'm gonna do 1 or 2 or something. Okay, cool. You're gonna be getting those fractal encryption boxes. You don't want to open them. You save them. You do buy your keys, you do buy your daily 30 deeply discounted keys from the vendor, but you don't spend the keys to open the boxes. You keep them until you get that mastery that I showed you. Then you open them. And from that point on, you can open them whenever you want. Like, as you know, after you have that mastery, you don't need to stack them anymore, just open them as you get them. But until you get the mastery, just stack them a little bit. Because if you open them without the mastery, you're going to have like literally 1/4 of the loot potentially on average per box. And that's a lot of lost money. It's not such a big deal, but it's still a lot of lost money, so why do that? You know. And it's easy to get that mastery anyway. But you also want the last one. This thing. You also want that. Because that allows you to activate some nodes inside fractals, which basically give you additional agony resistance, which you're gonna be needing to progress your character to tier 2, tier 3, and so on. Alright. And as you can read here, it will also shield you once from death. So basically the next time you would have died, it's instead going to shield you from that and like leave you with like reduced health, but you'll be alive. And then you can get healed and that's it. But then the bonus is gone. Yeah, it's huge. Like it's really just nonsensical not to get the whole fucking mastery tree. So that's why I'm putting it like separately. And I'm putting it high enough because it's a one-time thing. Get it out of the way. It will help you increase your fractal levels, which is why you're doing this, right? So yeah, you want to milk fractals as hard as you can and as soon as you can. The highest tier that you can, as fast as you can. but without being without being stupid about it, though, without compromising your group, without like taking ages to finish one fractal, yeah, it does. In this situation, it does. In this situation, it definitely does. So that's my tier list for like the super basic stuff. I'm personally the kind of player that doesn't ever bother with like daily meta events on maps unless I need something from them. So keep that in mind, that like the goal that I'm making is enough, even though I don't like run like a fucking rabid dog after every single map meta. Some players, or a lot of players, literally jump on every fucking... they go on this site over here, which is timers for map events, for map metas, and they literally chain them. There's a way to chain them. There's a clever way that you can jump from one to another in specific order and do a lot of them really fast, and that used to make a lot of gold. It still does. I don't care about it. I've never done this. Usually what I do is like, do I need something from a specific event for an achievement or something, or some resource or something? Sure, okay. Is it up? Yeah, it's up. I'm gonna go and do it. That's all I do. For real. That's literally all I do. Some other people are fucking fanatics about doing a certain, as I said, chain of events to maximize daily profit, but honestly, no thank you. I do what I want. I suggest you do the same, or you'll burn out on doing metas for no reason endlessly. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's good. I put it not as higher on the burnout list, like on things of things that can burn you out, but it's pretty middle there. Like I would fucking be bored out of my mind if if I had to daily do like 20 map metas, like just to get like what 10 gold. I don't give a fuck. But I leave that to every person separately. No, not judging, No judgment, you do you. Did I open the boxes beforehand? Yeah. Yes, I did. I did that mistake. I didn't know it back then, so I did it. Then someone told me about it, and I was like, oh, what do you know? Yeah. But by that time, I was already like, I already had the master by that time. How do they make content challenging for guild players? You can raid, you can do strikes, challenge mode strikes, you can do, tier 4 challenge mode fractals. That's how you are quote-unquote challenged. The latest story. So okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, heist gear hasn't changed. I already covered that. It's like stat lines change, combinations of stats change, but gear doesn't change. And I mean, how you challenge it? Is it really challenging? No, it isn't. All open world stuff, all PvE stuff that is open world, you can literally fucking blast through. But the farther you go, so for example, Ice Brood, so Drizzlewood that I mentioned, where basically the whole map is split in portions and into territories with borders, and you're trying to control the territory until it reaches a certain point, and then there's a huge battle, and then you go over to the other half of the map to do the same, which leads into the map meta, which is like sieging a fortress. Now that map, you'll probably not be able to solo the territories, like to solo capture, depending on your build, of course. So there is stuff that you can just grab a friend and be like, hey, let's do that, let's start capturing territory there, or stuff like that, or let's go and do like some challenging meta, like for example, I'd say a relatively challenging meta, I'd call it, is the End of Dragons one. This one here. That one is the final fight can be challenging for some people, depending on your skill, for example. What else? The one in Echo Vaults, maybe. I don't think, and this is a hot take, I don't think a game needs to be too challenging to be fun. Like, depends on what kind of player you are. Like, the kind of player I am, I'm thinking like, what do I want to do? Let's do it Seal Tarir, you know? Let's do it Seal Auric Basin meta. You're gonna get loot, you're gonna, like, you know, do some stuff there. It's just fun, whatever. You're having fun. I don't think Guild Wars is meant to literally challenge you, as in the sense of like, as a Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft player would see it, where, oh, a new raid is out, it's gonna be difficult, it's gonna have like this and that mechanic. No, it's more relaxed. It's, you know, you're still gonna be relatively challenged, especially in raids, and certain strikes as well are gonna be challenging. But the game is not meant to like slaughter you around every corner it gets. It's like, it's more there to, oh, it's fun to do, I got rewarded, let's do it again. It's more like that mentality than the mentality of like, oh, you know, I have to memorize 20 different patterns and 4 different phases of a boss, and, you know, all that shit. You're still gonna do some of that in strikes and raids, but, and in some fractals, but not really as much. You're just meant to go in there and, you know, just kill stuff, and it's fun to do, you know. But having said that, I've seen a lot of players struggle with the most basic stuff I've ever seen. Like, there is a strike, for example, where basically all you have to do is like just dodge to the left and then stack on someone, like, and that's it. And like, people find that challenging, when in reality the fight is basically just a gigantic like heal check. Or I've seen people struggle with like even bounties. Like, there is a system in Path of Fire. There are bounty boards on various maps. This one has one, for example, right here. And once you take a bounty, a random boss is gonna spawn on the map. You have to find it. The map guides you, don't worry, you don't have to look for it. And they can have certain modifiers that can make things really difficult. Like, maybe it stops you from attacking from melee distance, or it stops you from attacking from range distance, so you have to adjust your distance, for example. Or, you know, it might have like small drones that heal it, and you have to kill the drones, or, you know, it gets healed. And I've seen that trouble people, for example. I've seen that kill people and legit like infuriate people, for example. I've seen people lose their shit in fractals. I've seen people unable to handle mechanics at all, completely, which is baffling to me, because like, having played World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy and Guild Wars, honestly, Guild Wars is like it has some basic mechanics in its encounters, but exactly, they're basic. Like, they're very basic. It's not something crazy. I think what people struggle most with is the timing of dodging, and yeah, the thing is, you're not gonna have too much telegraphing here. You will always be able to understand what's happening. You can deduce what's happening easily by like looking at things. But I think the largest challenge that most players have with Guild Wars is essentially something I also had trouble with Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft. So I'd say fair game there, which is visual clarity. Visual clarity, and in the case of Guild Wars, how fast-paced combat is. So a lot of people don't understand that, like, in comparison to Final Fantasy World of Warcraft, This is a fast-paced action game. And people seem to forget that. It's also why you have dodges and iframes. So, you know, your dodge is an iframe. You're supposed to use that at the correct time. So I will agree on the visual clutter, but I will say visual clutter is very subjective and it is very game-based. For example, I see World of Warcraft, I see a mess of visuals, but within a month I knew what I was seeing. You know, I could tell what I was seeing within a month. Easy. Very easy. Maybe I'm even overblowing it. Maybe it was just like 1 week or something. I don't think it was a month. Final Fantasy, yeah, after a week you know what to look for. You know what most of the markers on the player will mean. And then from there it's basically studying its separate fight for Final Fantasy. For Guild Wars it's more like, is this AoE dangerous or not? And you can determine that by experience. That's all. You stand in it, you hope you won't die. If you do die, that means that one was bad for you. You couldn't face tank it. Because like, unlike Final Fantasy and unlike World of Warcraft, damage that you will be taking is not scripted. You will constantly be taking damage. The question is how well you manage your self-sustain, which always goes here, your healing skill, how well you're gonna manage your iframes, how well you're gonna position, and how good your healer is. That's it. That's it. There isn't scripted damage. There's like constant damage, and then there are some attacks that you just have to avoid. That's it. And the way you learn to do that is by, well, guess what? Just practicing. You just play the fight a couple of times and then you know. So to me, it's like so baffling that basically people just lose their shit when they die in this game. I just don't understand why that happens. No Trinity or Rush to Climb is going to be so difficult to break. I mean, there is a Rush to Climb, but once you're there, you're done. You're always there. You're perma there. Once you're able to do challenge mode, D4 fractals, you're there. Once you're able to raid, you're there. Permanent. That's it. There's not gonna be any, gear creeping. The No Trinity is interesting. Personally, I can't wait for Arena to wake up and understand that actually managing aggro is fun. I think that's like a huge downside of Guild Wars 2. I don't like not having aggro. I don't like not having to manage aggro. It's such a wasted potential. A lot of fights would have been a lot more interesting, I think. But at the same time, there is two things going on right now. First, they're starting to actually give the player tools to manage aggro, regardless of who is a tank. For example, there are boss fights where whoever is standing nearest to the boss, they will have aggro. So it's an indirect way of handling it, And then it depends on the group to decide who's gonna actually tank it, which depends on your build. So it's not a smart workaround, it's a smart ass workaround. It works, but they only started doing that very recently with fights, and not every fight. Old Lion's Court is an example of a fight that does that. However, not having to manage aggro also means that everyone is always alert. You're always looking to manage your heal, you're always looking to be close to the healer, and you're always looking to manage your iframes. Otherwise, tank stands there, group stands there, mash buttons, you win. So they're trying to avoid that. Why? Because variety. Why be like every other MMO? Just do their own thing. I can't blame them for it. I'm not sure I like it more, but I can't blame them for it, for sure. So yeah, and you know what? I do appreciate that it keeps everyone on their toes. Because that's a skill check. That's a personal skill check. How aware are you? How many enemies are going for you and how many for your friends? And, are you stepping in shit right now? If yes, press dodge. Stuff like that. There are some AoEs that you can identify immediately are gonna kill you. Usually stuff like really vibrant red huge circles with like orange inside, or a red field on the floor with red borders is usually gonna like damage you as long as you stay in that. And that was gonna be like, for example, big damage. Sometimes it's related to the size of the AoE, so smaller AoEs are gonna be fine in most instances. If it's a big one, it's a thick one, you know, you learn to tell. You learn to tell, honestly. I personally think that's gonna be a hot take. That a lot of people just don't give it the chance, and they're way too settled in their ways. Like, they come from WoW, and because the game is not WoW, boom, not working. Shit game. They come from Final Fantasy, it's not like Final Fantasy, boom, shit game. I don't understand the mentality. I never had that mentality. I play all games. I don't know. And this one is very easy once you just like kind of relax, like unclench your asshole and just like, you know, let it make love to you, and then you'll enjoy it. But no, for real. Just fucking let it happen. Just let yourself, you know, get like acclimated, because it's a different game, you know? It's different. It's a very nice mix of tab targeting and actual targeting, where, for example, if I throw a projectile and something is in front of me, they will eat that projectile even if I'm targeting like the person behind them. So it's very action combat, you know. And because it's fast-paced, it's also useful to learn how to target your ground AoEs correctly, and to pre-target them where the fight is gonna be. Like, it has its own nuance, you know. This fighting system has its own nuance. It's not worse or better objectively than like Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft. Just unclench your asshole and enjoy it for what it is, and don't be mad at it for what it is not. Unless you just don't like that style, I understand that, but to realize if someone likes a style, I think you need, like, it's an MMO. You need to give it a month. It's an MMO. You can't say, oh, if I don't like it the first 5 hours, the first 2 hours, I'm gonna dump it. That's true for single-player games, and for single-player games, yeah, you can't really demand me to play 30 hours because it gets better, but for an MMO, that's how it's meant to happen. The more you play it, the more you learn it. Because new content comes out, new fights come out, you know, it's like that. So I think even though I understand the complaints, and I think they're valid to a degree, that like there is not much visual clarity. They try to improve that, by the way, lately. They added like an option here where it's like hide party effects or something. It's somewhere here anyway, who the fuck cares. I use it personally. I feel it does make a bit of a difference. It's not as good as Final Fantasy's equivalent, but at least it's cleaner right now than it was before. So I think like a lot of people just, the main problem, like 70% of why they drop Guild Wars is because they go in and for some godforsaken reason they expect it to be a second World of Warcraft or a second Final Fantasy or a second whatever your MMO is, whatever the MMO you've invested like 10 years into is. It's not. It is its own thing, you know. It's not trying to be Guild Wars, Final Fantasy, and it's not trying to be World of Warcraft. It's trying to be a different thing. So, you know, but I also understand, like, some people just can't fucking stomach it. It's fine. I personally can't stomach Final Fantasy, for example, even though I love it, I play it. I can't say I you know, when I say I love it, I love parts of it, to be clear. I can't say I love all of it. Like, for example, the fact that Final Fantasy is a huge memory check. Like, literally 90% of what you're gonna need to play Final Fantasy is a 10 out of 10 memory. Like, it's fantastic memory. If you have great memory, you're gonna love Final Fantasy. You're gonna be a pro in there. Because every mechanic is just a huge memory check. Where do I stand when? Oh, the boss is casting like this spell. Let me go stand here and wait. That's Final Fantasy. Because I know where to stand according to what I see on my screen. I'm gonna stand here and wait. That's it. And then just muscle memory my fucking rotation. There we go. That's Final Fantasy. You're not gonna have reactions. You're not gonna have like dodging. You're not gonna have anything. You just stand there. If it's the correct spot and you guessed correctly, like you remember where to stand when your character has a red debuff or a blue debuff, you're a god. That's it. You own Final Fantasy. Because 90% of the fights is literally just positioning according to whether you can remember a mathematical equation or not. And there is no like there isn't gonna be any play, you know. In Final Fantasy you're not gonna make a play. You're not gonna be like oh, you know, the healer is down, let me go and get them, and then at the last moment you manage to get the healer up and the healer heals the party and boom, you clear, and it's like it's a good moment, everyone had fun. No, there's nothing like that. It's like one of your party fails a mechanic, all of your party wipes, you reset, you lose your progress, go again, GG's. Most of the fight is gonna be like that in FF. Some people love that, they fucking adore that, and you know what? Okay, I'm still playing as well, you know. But like that's not the point of Guild Wars though. Like in Guild Wars it's the opposite. It's like reacting on the spot, adapting your rotation because there's no global cooldown. You can just press buttons and they happen. There's no global cooldown. So you need to manage your rotation properly because like you might have to interrupt your rotation to move. Shit like that, you know? It's a different style. I understand people not liking it, but going in and saying, oh my god, it's not working like World of Warcraft, it's not working like Final Fantasy, it's such a shit game, that is what I have a problem with. Anyway, I'm just ranting now, sorry. Because I recently had tried to introduce Guild Wars 2 to two friends of mine, both of whom came from Final Fantasy, and honestly, I was angered. Not because I'm a huge like defender of Guild Wars 2 or something, or a huge fan or something, but like, you know, I have some problems with how Final Fantasy works, but I can appreciate it. You know, I can appreciate the group that we have. I can appreciate like a fight, you know, feels good when you clear it, and you know, you slowly memorize the mechanics, even if you're, you know, even if your memory fucking sucks like mine does, and you push through. And okay, I get it, you know. But when I see someone not doing that and like giving up immediately and just raging, like completely just raging, and generally, you know, just generalizing and saying, oh my god, it's the worst game, I fucking hate it, it's the worst game ever. It's like, that makes me angry. That makes me genuinely angry, honestly. Anyway. Neris, can you remind me what other stuff I wanted to, like we discussed like yesterday or the day before? Because I did mention like the Dragon Age Keep kind of thing. I did mention like the cosmetics thing, the subscription thing, Elite Specs. I did mention that, and how I would prefer that they worked. Emotes, animations, emotes, blah blah, all that, pretty cool. Okay, whatever, I mentioned it. I think I'm done. I can go play Cyberpunk. I can stream Cyberpunk now. But yeah, barring the info I've been giving out right now, or at least the viewpoints I've been sharing, or both, this, you know, this stream has been to just make a few contrapoints to Guild Wars 2 about how it does certain stuff and what they could do going forward to make it a little bit better, to make it like actually shine, according to me, you know, source me. Maybe people disagree, maybe people are purists and they like it exactly as it is. Who the fuck knows? I just, you know, I just made a stream about my opinions on certain things, and that's it. And yeah, I'll be on my way now, which basically means I'm gonna stop the stream and I'm gonna restart it as a Cyberpunk stream. because that's what we play on Mondays normally. But I just wanted to get all of that shit off my chest, and you know, I'm happy that if anything that I said helped you, good. One last detail I'm gonna add is like these bugs here, for example, is why it's good to have your Jade bot, because you can slap on that thing certain modules and chips, and they're going to have certain results. Like for example, this one every now and then finds like magic trophy bugs, which magic trophies are cool because you need them for your legendary. I just saw it and I thought, yeah, let's fucking, you know, talk about that. Oh, and the final detail. If you're ever gonna go for legendaries, this is the salvaging bot you want to be using. Personal opinion. Because this one will give you... this one will also salvage the runes that are attached on the item. And so to explain this better, if you open like an item, right? Which always open your items. Always open your unidentified items before you salvage them. Trust me, it's worth it. In the very long run, it's going to be worth it. So, but I want one that has like... There, okay, so this one has like a sigil attached, right? So this particular infinite salvage tool, so the rune crafters, is going to also salvage the rune attached on the item. So you want that because it has a chance to give you certain materials. I don't remember what they're called now, but it's like what are they called? Essences? I think something like that, something fancy like that. I don't remember what they're called, but they are the materials that you're going to be using, and they're very expensive to build legendary runes and sigils. So the extra cost, because this one is going to be costing you 30 copper per salvage. Charms, yes, fucking charms, that's what they're called. Charms, okay. The extra copper is worth it for the charms that it will be making you over time. So for me, this is the single best salvage tool. I salvage everything with this. Literally everything. It's probably a mistake, but I don't know, it's habit at this point, and I'm not gonna carry two of them with me, and I definitely want this with me, so I just use this one. So yeah, in my opinion, just grab this one and be done with it, because like it's not like you're gonna be hungry for coppers, because if you reach the point where you're hungry for coppers, well, that's bad management of your economy and of your time. You probably haven't been doing any fractals, you haven't been doing anything, so yeah. So barring any incidents where you literally just aren't making money for some weird reason, this is just worth it. This is just like, just do it, yeah, just have this one. It's just worth it. Unless, of course, you know, for some reason you are 1000% sure that you're gonna be either never going for legendaries or that you're gonna cover the cost of the charms by that time you're gonna be able to. In any other case, I recommend this. Yeah, that's what I got for you. That's all for my glorious... do I want to fucking store something somewhere? No, right? I'm good. Yeah, I'm pretty good. Toilet paper. Important. Don't forget that. Don't forget toilet paper. Okay. That's it. So as far as my Guild Wars 2 stream, possibly the one and only, because I don't really like streaming MMOs. I think it's pretty pointless. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope you maybe found interesting ideas. Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna make a write-up and post it on Reddit, which I don't really do often. But I was like, maybe these are good ideas. And then I thought, why put it on Reddit, where it's gonna get downvoted? People are gonna not realize that you're simply sharing like your own like point of view. just put it on a stream, be done with it, have a good stream, you know, and be done with it, you know. So I opted to do that instead. I could have just like made a write-up and put it on the forums or something, but you know what? If you find any of those ideas interesting, I guess you'll go and put it on a forum for me. I'll just have it on YouTube as a video. So yeah, I'm glad you appreciated it. If you stick with it, I'll go on a limb here and say, if you find it enjoyable, we happen to be looking for people to be playing with, you know, to do some raids and all that, and you know. So if you find yourself like looking for an end game company, let's say, yeah, just let us know. I mean, you know the character now, you know my name, you have it here. If it sticks and you enjoy it, and you know, you want to be doing daily fractals or whatever, it's cool to chill like that, you know. And if you leave, that's okay. I don't usually like invite people like that, but yeah, if you know, I like your enthusiasm, I guess. So if you and your significant other, I think you mentioned, decide to stay and you find a home here, you know, just you have my name here, just add me. Maybe we click in game, who knows, as a group. So with that, I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna restart the stream, and in about 10 minutes I'm gonna stream Cyberpunk. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your follows and for your subscription. It's awesome of you. But even if you're just watching, that's also awesome. I'll see you in a bit. All right, I'm gonna restart the stream. Yeah, stay around if you want to see some Cyberpunk, or not. I'm going for a 100% playthrough anyway, so it's like, you know, just chill and do stuff. Just chill and grind it. All right, okay. See you in about 10 minutes. Goodbye for now. Have fun if you leave. Stay safe. That's it. Bye-bye.